Perfect. Time to get back. Okay. Folks, are we all back? Type back in the chat quickly. Type back in the chat. Let's do it. Perfect. Perfect. Let's get started back again.
Good. Continue just a second. I'm checking if I can show you. Yeah, I can. Good. So we are over to our third example for today. We are over to our third example for today. We have a bunch of different things that we need to go through this. But what does this do? Okay, so this is going to be a financial, you can say investment advisor, investment recommender. You can connect a Grow or let's say the Kite API on top of this to make actual trade, but I will not recommend it. This is, folks, this is a disclaimer. This is for all purposes. This is for tutorial only. Please don't take this and start making actual trades. The actual systems are much more complex, but this will give you a very good idea of what you can do. Okay, so how does this work? In this case, in the main file, I will be just able to provide it. I think at the bottom of it, I have provided. Yeah. So I can just pass it the name of a stock. The default stock name I've kept it Reliance. If you want, you can search for international stocks as well. Like the same one can. Sorry. Yeah, same one can work for Nvidia, Apple, Adobe, whatever stocks you want to look for. Let's say we want to do it for Reliance, okay, which is an Indian stock. That is it. You just need to set the name of the stock, and it will give you. There are 4 different agents, some of them running in parallel, some of them running in sequential, which will give you such a kind of summary. Okay, so this is one of the older summaries which I'm showing you. So in that time, about it was asking me that I should be holding the stock. Holding for people who are new to trading, or holding basically means if you have, let's say, X number of units of a stock, you won't buy or sell, you will just keep it as it is. It will give me why I should be holding it. Okay, strong Reliance, a strong operating cash flow, and so on and so forth. What are the cons of not aggressive buying and so on? What are the key metrics, which has fetched all of these metrics for me? Different EBITDA, net profit, P ratio, and there are a lot more than that. This is just like a summary table. A detailed analysis on what are the financial strengths. What does the stock valuation look like? Like for example, P is 27.3. It is upper end of Indian large cap spectrum and so on. Growth catalysts, risks that are there, recommendation table, pros and cons. FAQs are also there, like what does hold mean, who should invest, when should you buy aggressively, key takeaways, what are the sources the data was given, and a quick summary. Okay, so this entire thing you will get, just you need to give the name of the stock. And there are multiple different things that are happening over here. Custom tooling, agents running in parallel, multiple context being passed between multiple different agents, and so on. Okay, so let's get started with it. For this, I have a deck for this because there are multiple agents, so it's just cleaner to keep it this particular way. Just a second. Yeah, so just cleaner to keep it this way. So there are going to be 4 agents in this particular project. Okay, before I tell that to you, quickly tell me in the chat if you have to make a decision whether you want to buy a stock, sell a stock, or whatever you want to just trade. What are those different parameters? Okay, what are those different parameters that you look for to make that decision? Okay, what are those different parameters you look for in making the decision of, let's say, buying a stock, selling a stock, or whatever? If it's ICP ratio, stock price, EBITDA. Trade volume, fundamental, stability, share price, news, trending headlines, earnings, company annual growth, 52-week low, technicals. Okay. So is it okay, folks? Is it okay if I categorize this into a couple of different subtasks? Let's say the first one will definitely be about the latest news, okay, about a company that is extremely important when you're trying to trade. Latest news, any conferences that the company did, any kind of very important news or partnerships that they came up with that can come up in the news. Second one will be the fundamental parameters like P ratio, 52-week high, 52-week low, PB ratio, and all of these different parameters that are there associated with the stock. Number three will of course be the current stock price. Okay. So do you think these two buckets, mainly the news and these different parameters, cover overall of what is required to trade? Of course, there will be more things, but overall, do you agree? Just type in agree in the chat. Okay, just type in agree in the chat if you believe. Because we will have the basic news about that particular company and multiple different parameters that are there to give you some, of course, there are going to be multiple different things around this technical analysis and all of that, but we are just playing on fundamentals as of now. Okay. Yeah. Overall, just the news and a bunch of different parameters we have, and the current stock price, of course. Okay. And there are, of course, more things which are there. But again, this is like a tutorial only. This is not a stock trading masterclass that we are in. This is an agentic AI masterclass. So we will focus it on from that perspective. Okay. So we'll have multiple different agents. And as I said, we should be building specialist agents only. So agent number one will be our News Info Explorer. So we will give it the LLM GPT 4.1, and this will have an access to a web search tool to search the internet, and it will have a task which is called as Get Company News. Okay, so this is agent number one. It will be the News Info Explorer. We'll give it a web search tool, very similar to what we did with the Issue Investigator. Okay, in the previous case. So if I take you over here. The issue investigator also had access to web search. For different reasons, it searched the internet, it figured out relevant articles. In this case, for different reasons, I will be searching it, but it is more or less the same thing that you're doing. Second agent will be a data explorer, which is specifically targeted to getting information about the company. So Get Company Info is a tool which will give us a value of 15-20 different parameters, fundamental level parameters about the company. And second tool, Get Income Statements, will give me a bunch of income statements and balance sheets of the company to exactly understand how the company has been performing. And this will be done in a task which is called as Get Company Financials. Okay. So these things, the News Info Explorer, get us the entirety of the news. The Data Explorer will get us the fundamental values along with the balance sheets of the company, will be a decent overall understanding of what the stock currently looks like. Finally, we will have an analyst agent, agent number three, which will analyze. So it will get the context from the news agent. It will get the context from the Data Explorer agent. It does not need any separate tools of its own, but it will perform analysis that, okay, based on this news, based on this fundamental analysis, and based on the current balance sheets that are there, this is what my detailed analysis is. Okay. What it also does, that you will get a lot of data from these. Like if I tell you that the P ratio of 25, if you are not an active trader, you will not even know what P ratio or price to earning ratio is. What does that mean for you? What does it mean for the stock, or how does it compare to the industry standards and so on? So what the analyst will also do is it will convert these numbers, not exactly convert, but convert the data into information. So it will explain it to you in this way that, hey, this is the value of this parameter for this company. Here is what the average value for this particular category looks like in the country, and so on. So it will give us a lot of these important insights that are required to make a trade. And finally, once we have this analysis report, we will call our financial expert agent, which will have an access to getting the current stock price. And based on this analyst's report and the current stock price, it will make a call whether we should buy the stock, hold the stock, or sell the stock, and it will let us know the result. Okay, so quickly summarizing it. First agent, we will have a News Info Explorer, which will get the company news. Second agent will be a Data Explorer, which gets the fundamental parameters about the company, as well as the income statements and balance sheets. Third will be an Analyst agent, which combines all of this information and creates a detailed analysis report on whether these parameters make sense or not. Are these parameters good? Are these parameters bad? And so on. Finally, we will have a Financial Expert agent, which will have access to a tool to get the current stock price, and it will be advising us to basically buy or sell a stock. Okay, so this is the flow. Just type in flow in the chat if you all have been able to follow through the flow. What are the agents? What do they do? And what are the different kinds of? And then we will like do a deeper dive into all of this. In this also, you can set memory as true, and you will be able to see all of the previous executions, and the agent will have context for all of that as well. Okay, so let's get started into implementing this. First, we will be, as we have been doing, we will be defining our agents. Now, I think by now you all are very familiar with the parameters and you can also see the pattern. So I won't be going in level of detail, but on the new things, I will be going into that level of detail. Okay, to define agents, just import agent and LLM. I've defined your LLM. So first agent, News Info Explorer, give some relevant backstory and all to that. In the News Info Explorer, we have given a tool, which is the ExaSearch tool, which you have seen in the last case also, that you can just get the ExaSearch tool by calling it from Crew AI and just using it an object like this, and you can have it here. Okay. Caching is equal to true, I have said, because we are doing web search. Similar parameters for max iterations, RPM, and so on. Okay. Similarly, for Data Explorer, we are asking it to be a data researcher, gather and provide financial data and company information about a stock. We are going to give it two tools. One is to get company info and to get income statements. Again, some basic parameters. And we have our analyst, data analyst, consolidate financial data, stock information, provide a summary, some standard parameters, and finally the financial expert, considering the financial analysis of a stock, make investment, a recommendation. So we will give it a tool to get the current stock price, some standard parameters, and the back story. Okay. In this agents, do you feel there is any need for additional explanation? Because it's the same set of parameters, just the names are different. It's just the same set of, I mean, the parameters are a little changed, but yeah. Okay, cool. All good. Cool. So now what we will do, you can see there are 4 tools which we have defined. One is an ExaSearch tool, which we have already done in the previous case. One to get a company info about the parameters of the stock, to get the current stock price, and to get the income statements. Now, one question which you might have, that Ishan, we already have an agent, which is a News Info Explorer. It has access to a web search tool. Why do we even need these tools? Why can't I just run a web search and get all the parameters, add balance sheets of the company? What is the problem? Why do I need to have a separate data explorer, a separate bunch of tools for that? What do you think? What do you all think? Basically, my question is, when the agent 1 already has access to web search tool, okay, it can search the internet, it is already looking up for news for the you all. Why do I need separate tools for getting company parameters and income statements? I can just get it with the web search. To get less noise, optimize search, fundamental stock, parallel processing, context, agent, need our agent to do specific tasks, modularize. Okay, let me ask it to you in a different way. If I give you a random name of a stock, let's say a Grow just got its IPO, and I ask you, hey, these are 20 set of parameters that you have to fetch me and get me the balance sheets of the company for the last 5 years, and it should be in this format. How easy do you think that web search is going to be? How easy do you think that web search will be to get multiple different parameters? And especially, like, do you think if you just go to reliance.com, the first web page will have your balance sheets of the company? It will be extremely complex. There are, if I just check number of companies listed in National Stock Exchange, 2,600 companies. Do you think these 2,600 companies on the National Stock Exchange will have a very clear way that, hey, exactly, just go to this webpage and you will get my all the details? It is a very complex problem to solve. Okay. Secondly, these LLMs are very notorious when it comes to hallucinations. So it will be very hard for you as a user to even validate those inputs. That, hey, if it is telling me that the 52-week low was 512 rupees, is it even correct, or the API, the LLM just hallucinated the number? Okay. So because of that, we are not actually going to use web search for this. We'll use something which is called as Yahoo Finance API. Okay. So what is Yahoo Finance API? First of all, this is available as a Python package. It is free to use. So you can just import it, Yahoo Finance. You can just import Y Finance, stands for Yahoo Finance. I've shorthanded it as YF. Okay. And what I've done after that is I have defined the required tools for that. First of all, Yahoo Finance has all of this information in a database, which I can fetch directly. So there is no LLM involved in retrieving the information. Because there is no LLM involved in retrieving the information, there is no chances of hallucination actually happening. Okay, so that is there. Unless, of course, the data of our Yahoo Finance is already messed up. That's a very different thing. But considering if the data over there is correct, this is a lot more sure shot and a lot more accurate way to get your information from a database which is specifically meant for finance and have no LLMs in between. Okay, is this clear to everyone? Why am I using Yahoo Finance API instead of just doing web search? Type in clear in the chat. If I type in clear in the chat, if I'm not, first of all, problems with web search, it will be very complex for me to figure out all the parameters that are there. It is not just available at one place. Secondly, it will be very difficult, even more difficult to figure out the balance sheets and all of that with like the 2,600 stocks in National Stock Exchange, hundreds in NASDAQ. It will be very hard to do that. Third problem is that my LLM might just hallucinate the numbers. So I have no actual way to know whether the numbers are correct or not. So instead of that, I will rely on Yahoo Finance, which has a database with all of these values, and I can fetch it from it directly. Okay. Now, how do you define a custom tool? Okay, but Yahoo Finance API is a separate API that you're using. It is not available as a part of Crew AI tools. Okay, so how are we actually running this? To define a custom tool, as I said, there are two types of tools: inbuilt tools, which are already available within Crew AI. You can just import it and call it this way and just pass it on to your agent, like I have done it here. News Info Explorer. Yeah, I've done it here. Or you can define your own custom tools. To define your own custom tools, there is a standard form of syntax that you have to follow. Okay. To define a function in Python, you have to use the def keyword first of all. After def, you name the function and the parameters that are there. To define a function as a tool in Crew AI, you will have to first of all import tool from Crew AI. So from Crew AI dot tools, import tool. This tool is a decorator function. It is a special type of function which is called as a decorator function. What you have to do whenever you are defining a Python function, okay, and you have defined it in this way, you just need to write @tool. This is called as decorators in Python. The exact same syntax. So basically with this one single line or one single word, you can say, you can convert any Python function as a custom tool. So I've just defined some logic for Yahoo Finance API over here. Def keyword is just the standard way of defining a Python function. Just written @tool on top of it. And because I have done it this way, I can just now directly pass it as a tool, like I have done the search tool. Okay, @tool, function definition, and the definition of the function. @tool, definition of the function. Okay, @tool, definition of function. What are in this? First of all, folks, again, you need not understand the Yahoo Finance API exactly in detail, or what are these exact lines of code. This is just for demonstration. Your tool might look very different, but I will still go ahead and give you some understanding of what is going on. So Yahoo Finance, I've imported as YF. Okay. Now in this finance stock function, I will pass on the symbol. What is symbol? The name of the stock. For example, NVIDIA, the symbol is NVDA. Reliance, the symbol is Reliance itself. Okay, and so on. So what I will have to do is, first of all, I will have to get all the values for that stock. You can do that using yf.ticker. Just pass in the name of the symbol. Like here, Reliance will be passed instead of this. What will be passed is Reliance. Okay. Yeah. Then current stock price, you can just do stock.info.get current price, and you will get the price. That is this. This is just some error handling that is happening. The main code is just you do yf.ticker, name of the stock price that you have, stock that you have. And to get the current stock price, you can just do stock.info.get current price. Okay. To get company information, you can again do just, you can again pass your name of the company. You can just do yf.ticker, exactly what you have done over here. Okay. In this case, I've stored everything in company info full, and you can get everything: name, symbol, market cap, industry, EPS, P ratio, 52-week high, 52-week low, total cash, operating cash, EBITDA, and all of these different parameters over here. Okay, so all of these values you can get, and you can again save it as required. Similarly, for income statements, you can just do yf.ticker, name of the stock you're looking for, and you can just do stock.financials, and you will get all of the balance sheets of the company. Okay, So folks, have you understood how to implement a custom tool in Crew? I just type in custom in the chat. Have you understood why I am using this @? You cannot pass a direct any function in Crew AI. It will give you an error saying that, hey, this is not a tool. So you have to specify Crew AI initially that, hey, this is not a normal Python function. There can be anything inside this. It can be literally anything inside this. And you will just have to write @tool. Where is this tool coming from? I have imported this from crewai.tools. I have imported tool. Okay, correct. And these are the tools that we have created. We have a getting current stock price tool. We have a getting company info tool, and we have a getting income statement tool. All of them are supported by Yahoo Finance API. None of these are using LLMs. Okay, I'm again reiterating it. None of them are using any LLM calls. Okay, so folks, have you understood the agents and the tools part of things? Are we just, I think, clear? If you are clear till now what we have been doing. So we created 4 agents: News Info Explorer, Data Explorer, Analyst, and Financial Expert. Most of them, the difference was in the prompts that we have written. Parameters are more or less the same, and the tool definitions that we have done. Search tool is being done using Exasearch. Get company info, get income statements, and get current stock price is being done using Yahoo Finance API. Okay, now we can define the tasks for these. Okay, to define the task, again, it is just going to be some prompt engineering. And by all, now I think you will be very clear of that. To define a task from CrewAI import task, import all our agents. These agents will be passed regarding whichever task is being performed by which agent. Similarly, the task will be passed. Okay, so for example, get company financials. This task, get company financials, is being performed by agent Data Explorer. Company financials, agent Data Explorer. Similarly, get company news, agent News Info Explorer. Get company news, agent News Info Explorer, and so on. In description, I've just written get in financial data from income statements and other ratios. Expected output is a detailed information from income statements and also indicate about current financial status. Get company news is just getting company news and business about the company. In expected output, in getting company news, you can write it that, hey, I want it in 5 different formats. I want month-wise news. I want bullet points. I want more details, or I want like a precise thing, whatever you need over there. In analyze, first of all, if you see get company financials and company news, if you see this diagram, analyze is getting the context from get company news and get company financials. Okay, so analyze, getting context from get company financials, get company news. This is how that connection is made. So all the news information and parameters of the company will go to the analyze task. Make thorough analysis based on the given financial data. Expected output is a comprehensive analysis. And I've asked you to mention currencies in Indian units. Agent will be analyst, and I wanted to save it in a output file. Final will be our advising agent. It takes input from the analyze task. Advise agent takes context from analyze task. Advise agent, advise task performed by agent financial expert. Advise task performed by agent financial expert. Okay, make recommendations in investing about a stock. Expected output is very clear. A recommendation buy, hold, or sell of a stock with reasons why it should be done, and so on. Okay, so folks, have you understood how I have defined the tasks? It's mostly just letting, in terms of prompts, letting which task is supposed to be performed by which agent, and also passing on the context in between. So analyze task, I've passed the context of news and financials here. Analyze task, use the context parameter news, financials, and news. Similarly, advisory task, I have given this analyze as the context. Okay. Are we clear till here? Agents are clear, tools are clear, tasks are clear. Okay, yes? Awesome. Finally, we will go to the main.py, but we cannot directly go to that. Okay, there is one problem. Looking at this diagram, okay, look at this very carefully. And you should be able to figure out that and tell me that there are agents 1, 2, 3, and 4. Which of the agents can be run in parallel and which of the agents do I have to run in sequential? Look at it for 10 seconds and then I will open the chat. Tell me that, hey, These are the agents that will run in parallel, and then this agent will run in sequential, and then this agent will run sequential. Okay, so think on it for 10 seconds that which of these agents are there which can be run in parallel, and it would make sense. Theoretically, like programmatically, you can run all of that, of course, in parallel, but what it makes sense. What do you think? Which agents can I run in parallel? Think and tell. Correct. I see almost all of you have got it correct. That we will be running agent one to get the news and to get the financial information from the company. These are two independent tasks. These are not dependent on each other. The news is not dependent on these parameters. Getting the parameters is not dependent on the news. So I can have an agent spun up to run in parallel to get me the news. I can have an agent spun up to get me the basic information about the company. Okay, these can run in parallel. Once they're completed, I can send them to the analyze task and finally to the advisory. Okay, so 1 and 2 can run in parallel. 3 can be run in sequential, and 4 will also be in sequential. So CrewAI already has a parameter called, you can just set it as parallel, like async, you can just turn it on. Or there is a separate way in which you can, if you want more fine-grained control on top of it, that you can do. Okay, so let me show you how exactly this parallel thing works. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so folks, this is a little involved topic. Okay, there are two terms which you will be hearing a lot of times. Okay, actually, let me use this. There are two terms which you will be hearing continuously. One is called as, with respect to agents I'm talking about, second one will be distributed. What does parallel mean? Let us say you have a set of 4 agents, like in our case. Okay, so we have set of 4 agents: agent 1, agent 2, agent 3, and agent 4. As most of you said, we can actually run agents 1 and 2 in parallel. 1 is running in parallel with 2. They complete. Their outputs go to 3. And then we get number 4. Okay. So over here in this step, we are running it in parallel. And this is we are running in sequential. Okay, this is, I feel, clear to everyone. 1 and 2, the news info explorer and getting information about the company, running in parallel. Then we run 3 and 4 in sequential. Then what is distributed? Think of it this way: when you are looking up for news about a company, okay, let's say agent number 1, that we have over here, the news info explorer. Just focus on this one, agent 1. It is looking for news about Reliance. Okay, and it is not going to be that it will just run one query and it will get the best result. It will have to run it multiple number of times. So what you can do, instead of waiting for this max iteration to happen one after the other, you can create it as a distributed agent as well. In distributed agent, you have the same exact agent, but you can run multiple copies of it. I'm still running agent 1, but it is in parallel. Okay, so what that basically means, ideally, if I'm looking for the Reliance stock, Reliance latest news. Okay, instead of going into this, let's say one search result, figuring out what happened, and then running the next search only when I have this particular information, what I will do is I will open up 4 Google ones: Reliance latest news, Reliance stock updates, Reliance latest news, conferences, Reliance news. Okay. In the previous case, I would have gone through this. I would have clicked on enter, seen the results, saved them, gone to the second one. In this case, I will just do this in parallel. Like I can't do this in parallel like manually, but I think you get the taste that I have run all of this in parallel. So what my agents will now do, okay, instead of having one agent which runs these searches one after the other, I can have a distributed setup where the same agent is running, but with a different query. Now, this is just example of a web search agent. You can have multiple different agents which can run in distributed manner. Okay, so what is the difference between parallel and distributed? Parallel, basically, whenever the term comes up, it means you have a separate set of agents and two different kinds of agents are running together at once. Like in this case, agent 1 and 2, which are two different agents. One is a News Info Explorer, one is a Data Explorer agent running in together at the same time. That is what parallel actually means in terms of agents. Distributed, on the other hand, means you're running the exact same agent with some different parameters or query and so on. Okay, so folks, have you understood the difference between parallel and distributed? Type in yes in the chat. Parallel means different types of agents running together. Distributed means same agent running at the same time, but with different parameter sets or queries or whatever that is there. Yeah, I see someone typing yes 10 times. Cool. Okay. Now, another important thing is how do you implement this in code? Okay. CrewAI already provides you a parameter for async execution. That is, you just set async execution is equal to true. But instead of showing it that way, I implemented it in the manual way. A lot of you might be looking at parallel processing for the first time. So here is what actually happens. If you have a CPU, I'm going into a little detail of hardware, but I think things will be fine. Every CPU has multiple different cores. Okay, every core is where you can run a particular set of things. Okay, let's say it is a dual core CPU. If you want to figure out the number of CPUs in your system, you can just open up your terminal. I'll just do, okay, zoom it in a little. I can just import OS, which is operating system, and I can just do os.cpu_count. Okay, it is telling me that, hey, you have 10 cores in your system. Okay, I'm assuming for now we have just 2 cores. Core 1, core 2. Okay, each core has a particular number of threads that you can use to execute a task. Let's say core 1 has thread 1.1 and thread 1.2. Core 2 has a thread 2.1 and thread 2.2, and there is a main thread as well. Now, whenever you are actually activating an agent and running a task, it directly comes to this main thread and it executes everything simultaneously. So agent comes, it gets executed, processed over here, output gets, then a second agent comes, and so on and so forth. And any of these cores are actually using this main thread. But when you want to run things in parallel, what you would want to do is, instead of just relying on this single thread, my cores also have multiple threads. Your cores, depending on the kind of system that you are on, it will have multiple different threads. So let's say I can run one agent on thread 1.1 and one agent on thread 1.2. I can run one agent on 2.1 and 2.2. I can run one agent on 1.1 and 2.1, any combination that works. Okay. You don't need to set it manually. The code will do it for you. Okay, so this is called as, whenever you are doing this is called as you are running it across multiple threads in parallel. So whenever someone tells you that, hey, I'm running this in parallel, and this is how exactly what it looks within the hardware. You have your CPU. Each CPU has a set of cores. Each set of cores can access a set of threads. Now, if you can run this different agents on different threads at one point of time, it will be parallel in nature. By default, it just comes to your main thread and executes. So that is why it is simultaneous. To show you the difference in the speeds that you will get in terms of parallel and this thing, I've created a simple script. I'm not going into the details of this implementation, but it does exactly what I said. So in this, I will just give an example of, let's say you have to do the square of a number. Okay. How much time will it take me to do the square of, let's say, 9 numbers from 2 to 10 if I run it sequentially? And how much time will it take me if I am running it via thread pool? Thread pool basically means splitting it across multiple threads. Okay. So I can just navigate to the directory. Okay. Okay, keep a check. So what it will do, what this script does, it does the squares of these numbers. It will calculate the square of this number. In first case, it will do it sequentially, one after the other, and the time will be printed. In the second case, it will be running it in parallel. Okay, so let's see. So this is in sequential. You can see first 2 happens, then 3, then 4. Once squaring of 4 happens, now see in thread pool executor. Okay, it happened almost at once. Notice the output in a lot of detail. Squaring 2, you get the result of 2. Squaring 3, you get the result of 3. Squaring 4, you get the result of 4. And it is happening totally in sequential order. It takes you 4.5 seconds to process 9 numbers. In case of thread pool executor, I'm using 4 threads in sync. So that is why 4 numbers started squaring at once. In this diagram, if you see, I have put it as 4 different threads. So in the previous case, only one number is being processed. Until that result is obtained, the second number is not starting. Then another number comes in. Until the result is processed, another number is not starting. In this case of thread pool executor, 4 numbers started at once. Why? Because I've launched it across 4 of these threads. And then as soon as one of it empties up, another number gets picked up, and so on. The total time is 1/3, 1.5 seconds. Okay. So folks, do you see the difference in terms of speed that you can actually get? It is like directly 1/3 time that it is taking you. And when you combine the API calls and all multiple different things that you're doing, it might also happen that if you have distributed set of agents, you might reach to the solution a lot faster. So that overall execution time of the system becomes a lot lesser. You are not required to understand it in this level of detail, like to the hardware point of things as of this moment. But it is always good to understand these things from a more technical perspective. Okay. Now this thing is already implemented. Like once you get access to the code, you will see exactly how I have implemented it in this case. Okay. Yeah. So to define the crew in this case, okay, I have imported agents and tasks. I have a configuration parameter set over here to enable parallel execution, and I have created so you need not create one single crew. You can create multiple sub crews as well. Okay, so let's say for example, I have a financial crew in which I have just put the data explorer agent. I have created a news crew in which I have just created a news info explorer, then an analysis crew, which has the analyst and financial expert, both the sequential agents that have to be run. Okay. And I have passed on all of they just if you want to run it sequentially. Okay, let's skip it for now. Okay. Yeah. To run it in parallel execution, you will have to use a library within Python from concurrent.futures import thread pool executor. What thread pool executor does? Exactly what I said. Instead of getting your input to main thread and getting output from there, it will just divide it across multiple different threads if it sees there is parallel execution. Okay, so in that I am submitting the financial crew and news crew at once. Okay, it is the same as submitting multiple numbers together that we did. You saw in the output. Okay, you see in the output in this case, 4 numbers started squaring at once. Similarly, I have defined 2 crews. One is a financial crew and one is a news crew. Both will get started at once in different threads. Okay, then we will wait till their options where their results are available. Once their results are available, then we will just run the analysis crew in sequential mode and we will be done. There's also a separate function I've created if you want to run everything in sequentially, but by default, this runs in parallel. Okay, and at the end, it will also print how much time we saved in by running it in parallel. So just try, let us try it. Reliance is already given as an input to this. Okay, yeah. Crew execution has started. We're starting with the data researcher and the data news both have started together, kind of. Okay, so that is how you'll be able to see both the outputs. News info explorer, it is running, so we get some news as well, and news info researcher outputs, all of that news and all we are getting. Okay, the data is it. You can see both of them are like running almost in sync. Like you're seeing outputs one after the other as well. Like of course it can't print both at once, but if you see it's the first agent, it started with data researcher. In the previous cases, you always saw that one agent was started, it was completed, then only the other agent came into the picture. But in this case, agent started data researcher and agent started news info researcher. So both of them have started together. Are people able to understand this? Okay, that in this case, both the agents have started together. How am I so sure of it? Because I cannot see the point, I cannot see the output of this agent yet. Okay, so what has happened internally, that my thread pool executor has passed on that, okay, the output is too long, so it pushed me below. The thread pool executor has passed on one of the agents to this, the other agent to this. So they are running in sync. Now we are getting some output from news info, getting some news articles and all around Reliance. Okay, and some information about data researcher. Yeah, see, such things can also happen when your search fails. Okay, so that is why we keep max iterations at a higher number and not just at once. Let's say you have a web search thing and it failed once, so your entire system fails, right? That's why you keep it higher. Next time it tried it, it worked well. See what kind of information the data researcher got us: core company name, current stock, market capitalization, sector, number of employees, earnings per share, PE ratio, some more detailed information, income statements, the balance sheets which I was talking about, and so on. It has even gotten us some charts and all from that. Segment highlights, comparative. This is all done by the data researcher. Okay, so it is now telling me data researcher is completed. Now, once data researcher is completed, okay, once data researcher is also completed, news and info researcher is also completed at a very similar time. So this is all the news about Reliance, executive summary, and so on. It's given us some more PDFs which we can look into if required, given us the sources and link that are coming. Okay. Now News Info Explorer is also done. So we have the news about the company. Okay. Top news themes: revenue, net profit, oil to chemical segment delivered stable volumes, Jio attained 518 million subscribers, India #1 telecom, India's largest green hydrogen, and all of these things. FY25 revenue, how much it was, and so on. Okay, so that crew execution has completed for news. So we have the news and all the fundamental parameters, the company. Now phase 1 has completed in 76 seconds. Okay, it just took me 76 seconds to fetch all the latest news about a company and the parameters at once. Okay, we will see at the end, we will also compare the time in roughly how much difference it makes. Then we will run the data analyst. Okay, then we are going to run the data analyst, which will basically make sense of all of this. So you can see it has standardized the format, first of all, that these are the parameters and value and comment on each of them. Like for example, net debt is about 0.9x. It says it is very manageable and so on. It gives us an analysis based on what it thinks. Okay. So for example, the data researcher only gives me this number that, hey, the revenue was this in FY21, the revenue is this in FY25. But the data analyst also tells me that this is representing robust compounded annual growth far above both Indian and oil retail peers. This inference that you are being able to see is being generated by agent number 3, which is the analyst agent. Then in terms of gross margin, EBITDA margin is this much. Demonstrate business efficient business mix, especially as reliance on high volatility commodities and so on. Okay, these numbers, gross margin 18.4% and EBITDA 16.4%, were gotten by the Data Explorer. Only these numbers were gotten by the Data Explorer, but what it actually means was converted into a report by the analyst agent. And when it says me that, hey, this demonstrate efficient business mix. Are you folks able to understand what is the role of the analyst agent? Okay. This news info explorer is only giving me latest news. This data explorer is only giving me a set of numbers. Okay, it will give me only a set of numbers, which kind of, okay, I can scroll above, I will have to open up something else. But yeah, it just gives me a set of numbers. The analyst is actually the one who is making sense out of these numbers. Okay, it is telling me that, okay, it went too high. Yeah. In terms of ROE, then it is also telling me that, hey, company, this is the P ratio. It has actually compared it to its peers as well. It has done a segment-wise analysis as well. What are the risks and all in this category? What is it that you would look out in the stock? Some news and catalysts for 2024, 2025, regulatory inspections, Indian retail investor perspective, and so on. There are a lot of things that the analyst has covered and created a very detailed report on top of it. Finally, the financial expert comes into picture, and he is as of now giving us a recommendation to buy it and with the current stock price and the actionable recommendations. It gives us what are the pros of the stock, what are the cons of the stock, what are the risks, what is an executive summary for this particular stock, detailed analysis like what is the financial health, valuation, how does it compare to its peers, growth vectors, and so on. And depending on the type of investor, it also tells like if you're a new investor, buy in SIP style, if you're a long-term growth seeker, buy and hold it, so on. What are the data sources which it has referred, summary table, and key takeaways. All of this has been given for you. Okay. So phase one time, which was the parallel execution of agent one and agent number two, this one. Agent one and agent two, the data explorer and getting news, took us about 76 seconds. Phase two, which was sequential, running the analyst agent followed by the financial expert, took us 90 seconds. Total execution time is about 2 minutes 90 seconds. Estimated time we saved by parallel execution is 76 seconds. So when the total execution is itself about 3 minutes, okay. If you would have done it using manually, I mean sequentially, you would have taken like another, let's say 30-40% time higher. Okay. Now these are very small searches that we're doing, but a 30-40% reduction in time is huge when you're deploying systems in production. And with this, we conclude today's final example. After this, I will be showing you a bunch of the agents which I have created and some RAG systems which I have created and so on. But folks, how are you feeling as of now? You've gone on to being from someone who probably knew very basics about agents or just had heard of the term. And now you know how to actually create multi-agent systems, run things in parallel, create your own tools, be able to call these tools, inbuilt tools, custom tools, running things in sequential, parallel, using this amazing agentic framework, and so on. How are you feeling? Do you feel confident that this is something that is doable for you? And yes, you will get all of the code. Do not worry about it. Were you able to follow through? Were you able to understand the explanations? Were you able to understand the flow diagrams? The whiteboarding which I did, it was actually a blackboard, I should say. But yes, is your mind blown? And we are not done yet. We will take roughly more 30 to 40 minutes where I will show you some of the projects which I have built. Along with that, I will show you the exact roadmap that you can follow post this mastermind is over, and we give that away for free. I won't charge you anything for that. Okay. We'll get all of the code that we cover in thing. Okay. But most importantly, folks, do you feel now that yes, you can also build your agents? Type in yes, drop in fire in the chat. Let me see. For the number of people, we have over 1,000 people on the call. I want to see how many of you feel that you can build agents on your own. You can build agents on your own. Of course, you can use any IDEs or such like Cursor and all, but you can do it. It is not something which will take away your life. It will take away like 10 years to learn. It is something which you can learn in a short span of time, given the right direction, of course. Yes. Amazing. So folks, as of now, as Om has mentioned very clearly, we are all in sprint zero. Okay, what is sprint zero is basically where you learn about developer productivity, where you learn foundations of LLMs, agents, RAGs, and all sorts of such things. But post this, what are the next set of sprints that you can do to actually learn things yourself? Okay. Type in sprints in the chat if you would want to see exactly where to move ahead after this. Type in sprints in the chat and I will give it to you all exactly. Type in sprints in the chat, folks. Amazing energy. Cool. Okay, so I will show you what these sprints look like, and all of you, as I said, are in currently sprint 0. What is the sprint 1 to 7 going to look for all of you? Okay, sprint 1 is going to be master model reasoning, code generation, and advanced LLM techniques. Okay, as of now, I was using the OpenRouter API. What if I want to use the OpenAI API key? What if I want to use the Claude API key? What if I want to generate code with it? What if I want to generate images with it? And so on and so forth. You have to become a master of using these APIs. What are the different parameters in this? What is the latency? What is the rate limiting? And all of these things, you have to be an expert across these things. Secondly, you should be very confident with prompt engineering and context engineering. And you should know exactly that, hey, this is the task. These are the parameters I should set. This is the model that I should be using. So that is going to be your sprint number 1. Sprint number 2 is going to be, you should be able to design end-to-end workflow automations by connecting AI with APIs, tools, and services. What do I mean by that? There are a lot of automation tools which have come up in the space today. One such very interesting tool is called as N8N. It is one of the most famous companies out there in the world, which creates automations for building AI agents, security operations, embedded automations, CRMs, and you can integrate anything that you want with it. You can literally create an N8N automation which can control the bulbs of your room. So that is to even like running multiple different things across. So N8N is actually extremely powerful. Okay. Let me show you one of the automations which one of our mentors, Divij, actually built. How many of you have used that LinkedIn's easy apply button to apply for a job? And what do you think of that button? So LinkedIn has a button whenever you open jobs section on LinkedIn, there is an easy apply button. And you have tried to do that. And how has your experience been? Have you ever gotten a job? Is it useful? Do you think is it useful? Type yes or no in the chat. Someone is writing it's a scam. I also feel the same, to be very honest. It is not very useful. Okay. Now, what Divij did, he built an AI automation. Okay. Very interesting automation on top of LinkedIn. You can actually connect LinkedIn and all to this as well. I see most of the people are saying that it's very useless. What he did, Divij was also facing, Divij is currently actually working in Microsoft, and Divij was also facing this issue whenever he was trying to apply to different jobs. Clicking on the easy apply button, it was not working out for him. So he built a very good N8N automation, in which you just need to give a link of the jobs page for LinkedIn, whatever you're looking for, which has the country and so on and so forth. And it will fetch, first of all of the relevant jobs for you all. It will have your resume with you. It will tailor your resume based on the job application and description. It will create personalized cover letters for you all. And based on those cover letters and personalized cover letters and the job description, it will create a personalized video resume using an AI avatar generator. Let me show you how that works. We have a very lovely demo by Divij.
Are you still stuck applying to LinkedIn jobs with that easy apply button?
Folks, is it audible to everyone? Is the video audible? Everyone? Yes? Cool.
Only to get another rejection email? And let's be real, how much time you are wasting finding, curating, and applying for the right jobs that match your skill? What if I told you there's a smarter way? Meet N8N LinkedIn Job Automation. This tool automatically finds the best fit jobs for your profile through a custom RSS feed, sourcing the most relevant recent job postings. But that's not all. It goes a step further by evaluating and scoring your resume against the job description, so you know exactly how well you fit in the role. Once it's done, it adds everything: job title, description, rating, company name, and even benefits into a neat Google Sheet, and even personalize your cover letter. But wait, you want to level up even more? Take it to the next level with HeyGen. Create your personal AI avatar that generate a video resume that summarize your qualification and leaves a lasting impact on potential employers. Want to work smarter, not harder in your job search? It's time to stop guessing and start automating with N8N and HeyGen. The job of your dreams might just be one click away.
Now pause here for a moment, folks. and think of the kind of difference this makes to people. There is person A who's just going on LinkedIn, applying on random jobs just by clicking on the easy apply button. And there's a person B like Divij who has created such an amazing automation where his entire job application process is automated. Okay, he writes personalized cover letters, he has personalized resumes, he has a personalized AI avatar which can actually create personalized video resumes for him as well. And he just sits back and waits for the response. So after that, of course, it's depending on the person's capacity to clear the interviews, but at least till landing the interviews or getting that initial response, who do you think will be more successful? Person A, who is just randomly tapping on easy apply button, or person B like Divij, who is actually utilizing these automations that have come up? What do you think? And you can actually scale this up higher. Like you can be applying to, let's say 50 jobs a day. Okay. With all like 50 to 100 job applications and all that you need. Amazing. So that is the power of n8n, and you can do a lot of things with that. Moving on. So that was sprint 2 for you all. Sprint number 3 is how can you implement a RAG based system? Okay, what is a RAG system? In that you can, instead of just relying on the LLM to answer something, you can give it your own documents. It can be any form. It can be in the form of audio, video, text, PDF, anything of that sort. And you can give that context to power AI with your own data layers. And how, let's say you want to build your second brain, how can you do that? Let me show you a very interesting example which I had built a while ago, which is called as Atlas. Okay, so folks, tell me that if, let's say, you had to learn about Crew AI from YouTube, this is how you would have gone. You would just written Crew AI tutorial, clicked on the search button, a couple of videos will come up, like let's say AI with Brandon, Code Basics, Alejandro, Mevin, Krishnayak, and a bunch of these people. Okay, this comes up. How would you select which video to learn from? What do you think? How will you select? Let's say just these 3 videos. How will you select which one to learn from? Views, ratings, more likes, comments, maximum views, likes based on thumbnail. But now let's say you have already done this particular session. I don't think now you will be looking for a very basic understanding of Crew AI. You've already gone that. Do you think just looking at the names, description, number of likes and all, you will be able to personalize it for yourself and tell that, hey, this is the exact tutorial which I need? I already know these things. Okay, I already learned about these things. What next, or how do I build on top of that? Okay, there are some things which are 4 topics in my mind. Do any of these cover them? Okay, do you think it is a very good idea to just go with the number of likes or number of subscribers? It might be a signal that it is good, but do you think it will be most relevant for you? Do you think? That is the exact same problem which I also started facing, especially when I started learning about these agents. So whenever I would go on YouTube, every other video on YouTube, I will be very frank with this, every other video on YouTube makes very basic tutorials, very basic projects in terms of agents. Everyone is creating a Gmail automation agent. Everyone is creating just a web search agent and so on. Okay, so here is exactly what I did. I built a tool called as Atlas. What Atlas could do, you can just, instead of going on YouTube and putting your query, you could just go on Atlas. This is basically a personal app which I built. It's not like I deployed somewhere. It's a RAG application which I built using Llama Index. And you can just give the query over here, select the maximum number of videos which you're looking for. You'll have to set your API keys over here and it will find the relevant videos for you. Like for example, let's search Code Basics, Crew AI tutorial, Crew AI tutorial AI with Brandon. Then it has the Crew AI crash course by Krishnayak and so on. And then getting started with Crew AI open source, it is by like Crew AI itself. Okay, so a couple of different videos. This is also what you get when you go to youtube.com. Second thing, what Atlas does, it will fetch all the video transcripts. What are video transcripts? Whatever is being said, the exact closed captions will be fetched, but I can't really be reading this entire thing. Okay, so this is where I use a prompt engineering technique, which is called as XML prompting along with JSON prompting. So there is a very long and very detailed prompt which is written. It is not like you can just pick this transcript and ask it to create a summary for yourself. You can try that, of course, pick a YouTube video and ask it to create a summary of yourself on ChatGPT, and you will see the difference in my summary and that ChatGPT summary. Okay. The difference is basically I have written a very specific prompt to give me a very engineer specific summary. Okay. What does that look like? Let me show you one of them. So let's say the code basics tutorial. First of all, it will give me a high level overview that this is a hands-on crash course demonstrating how to build agentic systems with CrewAI by writing code, creating LLM backed agents, and so on. Okay. What is the technical breakdown? What are the exact tools and frameworks that are used? For example, in this CrewAI is used. Oh, Gemini API is used. Nice. I already know how to use OpenAI API. I can check this video to learn about Gemini API as well. Okay. UV as a package manager has been chosen. PyCharm as an IDE has been used. Okay. There are also MCPs in this. The Pride Data MCP has been used. CrewAI tools has been used. A Pike model has been used. Okay. This is good. This gives me a very good understanding of what exactly in terms of tools and frameworks is covered in this video. Then it will give me the exact architecture and design of the video. That this is what was exactly covered. Like in this case, it is telling me that an orchestrator kind of thing was also covered, iteration caps and all of this, reasoning, all of this, tool calls, explicit memory, all of this was covered. Step-by-step process that was done in this tutorial, like Project Bootstrap, installing dependencies. Okay, I wanted a tutorial where I could learn how I could like set up CrewAI. This is your video. Create an LLM client object, defining a single agent, custom tools, all of that you can do. Then key engineering insights, like as an engineer, if I'm learning this, what are the insights I will gain? Decoupling prompt engineering from code, reasoning before execution, rewiring pre-built, and so on. If I go through this tutorial, what are the practical applications I will be able to create? And finally, what are the limitations for this? You can try, like take any YouTube video, put it on ChatGPT, ask it for a summary. You won't get this kind of summary unless you have written the kind of prompt which I have. And it is like this kind of output. It is extremely detailed. Like let's check AI with Brandon, for example. It tells me exactly CrewAI has been used, LangChain has been used. Where has LangChain been used? Okay, so it literally figures that out as well, like in built-in connectors and tool abstractions that CrewAI agents can use. So not just what tools and frameworks are there, where in the video, how in the video, and how it has been integrated as well. What has been used as search tool, which API has been used, even in that API, what is the exact model that has been used. Pygame has been used, environment. A lot of people were asking about what is load.env. It is also here. Architecture and design, step-by-step process that is figured out, and all of that. All of this, okay. Atlas gives it to me in a couple of seconds because again, as I said, things are running in parallel over here. Now I realized that, okay, this summary is all is good, but I can't, let's say I want to compare 10 videos, reading through 10 summaries is very hard. So instead of that, what I did, I created, okay, let me just zoom out a little. This is actually a bigger table. I'll just zoom in. It looks prettier this way. Yeah. So let's say I have these tutorials, Krishna, Code Basics, AI with Brandon, CrewAI and all. It gives me, first of all, when was it published? What is the level of difficulty? Okay, like beginner, intermediate, advanced, and so on. What is the teaching style? Is it project-based? Is it code along? Is it just theory? Okay, depth of the content, moderate, very superficial, in-depth. What is the learning outcome? If I complete this video, what will I be learning? Who is the target audience? For example, in this, developers, ML engineers. In this case, Python developers. In this case, software engineers. What are the prerequisites? What are the things that you need to know beforehand joining this particular tutorial? Number of tools that are covered in each of these videos, like 5, 9, 11, and 7. Exact technologies that have been covered. And finally, based on all of this, a complexity score on this video. I was like, great. With this table, I can finally figure out exactly that, hey, okay, this is the learning outcome. These are the tools. These are technologies. I already know this. Okay. I already know this, these kind of tools. I already, let's say, know OpenAI API. I'll look for something which has, let's say, oh, YouTube search tool. Interesting. I will learn for this. I already know OpenAI API, but I want to know the Gemini, how to use Gemini. I can just look at this. I don't have to go through comments. I don't have to go through views. I don't have to go through descriptions. But Atlas does not stop here. What I felt, even after this, the learning is pretty passive. Okay, pretty passive. When I say it means that I can maybe code along the entire video. Okay, I can probably code along with the video, create the exact entire project. Do you still think the learning will be passive if you are just coding along with it? You are kind of just replicating it, not exactly copying. Definitely your understanding will be better, but there is another thing which I added to Atlas which takes it to completely next level, which is generating assignments based on these videos. So whatever videos comes into Atlas, it creates very detailed assignments for you. Like for example, in this case, Atlas already understands in detail what is covered, in what depth it is covered, is it code along, it is theory. Based on that, it will start giving me assignments on top of that. Like in this case, if you go through the Krish Naik video, you should be able to create a multi-agent sequential pipeline, which can go from a YouTube to blog post, level of that assignment, overview, what are the core tasks within this assignment, some basic setup instructions will also be given, success criteria, that hey, if you are able to do all of this, your task is successful, how to add a README, like let's say another task, implementing tooling, import all of this, basic brief on how you could do that. And finally, it also includes advanced challenges like parallelize multiple videos, okay, add a QA agent to this, and so on, and some resources and snippets. And it does that for all the videos that you give. Now, something which was even till here, I would say, if you have figured out your best video, okay, you will, if you have coded along, now you have a next set of projects that you can build and actually be able to create these things. Okay, so that is there, but Atlas doesn't stop there. I read a lot of research papers from a day-to-day basis, okay, and lots of blogs, lots of articles, and anything. I needed one search engine which could search through any kind of file that I have. Like in this case, I've just put research papers. So in Atlas has access to a folder which has a bunch of research papers which I've read, and I can just ask it any questions, click on search papers. Like in this case, I've asked it, hey, what are the main architectures for AI agents? It will search through my exact folders and it will figure out that, hey, these are the main architectures. And these are the files from which I found your answer. Even within those files, these are the paragraphs from which I have actually figured out your answer. This is not some general LLM response. This is not some general web search response. Exactly from what I've learned. Atlas can read through music. It can read through videos. It can read through text, PDF, and anything, any format of file, even like CSVs and text files, anything that you can think of, Atlas can go through that. Folks, in one word, if you have to describe Atlas as a RAG system, how would you describe it? In one word. In one word. Awesome, fire, all-rounder. Do you think it will be super helpful if you could start building such RAG applications for yourself? And this was built in like a couple of hours. Literally built in a couple of hours. Okay. This was built using Llama Index as a RAG framework. On top of that, YouTube API and a bunch of different other APIs were used. There is very heavy prompt engineering that is being done over here to get such quality outputs. Otherwise, it is not possible that you will do. So even if you think you can do this with, let's say, any ChatGPT or anything, you can definitely try that. You will see the difference in the convenience that is there. So that is it. You should be able to, by the time you reach sprint 3, my point is that you should be able to build such RAG applications for yourself, depending on whichever framework you have been learning. Sprint 4 should be the ability to integrate multimodal AI models. Like your applications should not only be limited to text models, okay, text data. So you should be able to parse through video, audio, just a single agent should be able to understand, single agent or RAG system should be able to understand videos, images, text, audio, all of that together. So when there is one single model which can understand multiple different types of data. So the types of data we call as modalities of data, like text is a modality, video is a modality, audio is a modality. We call that as a multimodal AI model. So you should learn how to build these full stack applications. For that, you will have to master a framework. Basically, there is a company called as Hugging Face, which is one of the best in open source in the world. So if you are working in an enterprise setup and you're worried about, hey, Ishan, but I can't use the OpenAI API, I can't use this Grok and Gemini and all of that. Can you tell me a free variant of this or something which I can host myself? Then yes, you can actually go to Hugging Face. It has a bunch of different all the open source models are hosted over here. You can just go on models, select whatever task you want, like text generation, image to image. You have LLMs, you have VLMs, you have multiple different things that you can use over here. It has something very interesting, which is called as spaces as well. Okay, so for example, this Maya one, this is actually by one of my friends itself. So if you want to build such kind of apps, okay, so let's say spaces this week, sorted by, let's say, most likes, this one. So if you want to be able to build such applications, you see, you want to be able to build such applications and put it and deploy it on places using free AI models. All of this is being built using a framework called as Gradio by Hugging Face. Okay, and a lot of these are actually multimodal in nature. So how do you use multimodal AI models? How do you use Hugging Face as a platform? How do you build and deploy these applications on Hugging Face is what you should be aware of. So you should be able to build these full stack applications. Sprint number 5, by the time you reach sprint 5, you would already have a good understanding of prompt engineering, context engineering, using LLM APIs, automations using n8n, building your RAG systems using frameworks like Llama Index and so on, using multimodal AI models, using paid APIs as well as free LLMs and whatever models you have, all of that. Now you'll be in a very good state to come back and start learning about AI agents in detail. So in Sprint 5, you should be learning about how to design, deploy, and monitor AI agents at scale and execute different tools, automate complex tasks. Some things you can use for this is something like LangChain. You should also be, by the time you have reached Sprint 5, you should be very comfortable with MCPs. How do you integrate MCPs with, let's say, a tool, or how do you create your own MCPs and so on. Okay, so that is going to be Sprint 5. And Sprint 6 is where you should be learning about building advanced multi-agent system. All of the things that you have learned in parallel processing and all, like this was just the beginning of things, which I gave you a taste of what parallel processing and orchestration looks like. But you should be able to build orchestrator kind of agents. You should have agents which have shared memory. Like let's say there are 10 agents in your system. 4 of them have shared memory, 6 of them have independent memory. All of these things, connections, and basically being able to build such advanced agents. Let me show you a very interesting agent which I have. Now, folks, what I feel, I believe most of you are coding in this manner as of right. You might have VS Code, Cursor, whatever you're using. This is what the setup mostly looks like. Okay, wherein on the center you have your code. On the left side you have the list of files. You have a terminal below, and you have a chat window over here. Okay, is this what most of your setup looks like? Just type in me in the chat. If this mostly, I believe most people over here, if you are coding, this is what it will look like. Maybe some of you don't use this chat window, but ideally this is what your coding ID looks like. You have set of files, code in between, our terminal, and your chat. Regardless of your Cursor, WindSurf, GitHub Copilot, all of them have the same thing. What I started feeling was that, hey, for making a small change, okay, this is too much task. Like I'm coming up here, since the time Cursor has come up, I've been mostly prompting and making changes. Like, let me show you, like I will just make a change in front of you in one of my projects, and you will see how fast that is getting done. Okay, so folks, the change has already started. Can you see it on the screen? The change has already started taking place in front of you. Are you able to see on the screen? I just did it right away. Are you all able to see the screen? On what the change is the change is happening right in front of you. I just did it literally in front of you. How is it possible that you're not able to see? You're able to see the desktop? Yes. The reason any of you are not able to see the screen in which the change is going on, because the change is not going on here. It is happening in my phone. I have an AI agent which is called as Orion. It lives on my Discord. I can just prompt Orion that, hey Orion, this is the URL, this is the branch in which I want to make a change. And this is the exact task that you have to perform on this GitHub repository. Orion will make all of those changes. It can also test all of these changes and base a PR directly on GitHub. The reason you are not seeing the change on your screen right now, because the change is going on in my phone, folks. In my phone. Okay, so if I show you the Discord, bot that we have, so you can literally just pass on, let's say, a URL, okay, a URL link, the name of the branch, okay, and the task, let's say, build a text to image Python script using Hugging Face diffusers. It will initiate the agent, okay, it will check the branch, it will clone all of the repositories, do all of that automatically. You don't have to do anything manually. Just give me the URL. Just give me the URL, branch name, and whatever task you want. It can generate, not only generate new files, it can change inline things as well. Like it can make changes inside code and in between files as well. And it will directly raise up PR. So this is the latest PR that has been done in 112 seconds. In 112 seconds, think of it, folks. If I would have given you this change to do, how much time it would have taken you. Let's say you were sleeping in the bed, you will have to come up, sit on your desk, open your laptop, see where the change has to be made. Even if you're prompting, you will have to prompt it that, hey, do this change. You will review the change, you will test the change, then you will create a PR out of it. You will write the PR in details on that. Orion did all of that in 112 seconds. I can click on the PR link. It is already given. All of my commits now come with this particular default, which is basically the name of the agent, which is it has performed it. Okay, this PR contains AI generated changes by Orion. It has added the files changed as well. So it has also given me the requirements file that will be required and the full script that is required to change. 112 seconds, folks. 112 seconds is all you need. I don't see why people even need to, have such kind of systems where they're actually going and implementing things on their own. And Orion can directly raise the result. Okay. Another interesting thing about Orion is that if you go on Orion's repository and go to pull requests, you will see that Orion can also raise PRs in its own repository. And in the closed PRs, if you see, you will figure out that Orion is actually an AI agent which is being built by multiple different agents. So agents like OpenAI Codex, agents like Anthropic Claude Coder, all of them are constantly working together in sync to build a tool like Orion. I'm not developing Orion. I have a bunch of different agents. I know which agent is very good in what. Okay, I'm just initiating them just from my phone. All of these can be operated from my phone. And it is continuously merging changes to Orion. Like if I have to show you one of them, the Discord bot, which I showed you, right? This was not done by me. It was done by OpenAI Codex, and all my commits and PRs now have people still try to shy away that it is AI generated code. Me on the other hand, I just write which agent has done that. And the chat applications are also available over here. So if I show you this chat that I had with ChatGPT Codex, Codex is the software engineering, one that is there. So I just asked it to create a Discord like integration and so on. Codex did it for me, and you can just click on raise a PR. Codex also has the ability to run tests on the cloud. So if you have a test file, it can run it or create tests and run it for you as well. There is an environment variables that you can set in Codex. You can literally run your entire project. I also use a lot of times I use Claude Code as well to review these PRs. Okay. Now you will tell that, okay, but Ishan, how much is it actually costing you? So there is a tool called as Langsmith. Okay. So when you go to Langsmith, okay, everything that I am running, every little thing that I am running is being logged. What are the different steps? So for example, I used the OpenAI GPT-5 mini model to run this code. It took me about 108 seconds for the LLM call. Rest 10 seconds were used up by cloning the repository, raising a PR and all of that. It is telling me exactly that, hey, in input you use 615 tokens, in output you use 6,000 tokens, in reasoning you used 1,000 tokens. Okay, this is exactly, it tells me the number of tokens that I have used. So you can use this to estimate the amount that you're using and the output. So if you are running this multiple different number of times, you will be able to exactly see and monitor the cost as well. This comes under observability. Okay. So folks, what do you think about Orion? Like if you have to describe it in a word, in a single word, what do you think about Orion? One single word. Fire, job taker, insane. A lot of my projects, if you will see, will have in the commit request, it will have Orion written on top of it. And these are some of the beginner projects which I have. I have a whole set of these which we do. Okay, and finally, once you are comfortable across all of this, okay, you should be able to architect, develop, and launch production-ready GenAI products from scratch, folks. Okay, so going quickly over it, you start with mastering prompt engineering, context engineering, then you go about learning about N8N automations, then you learn advanced RAG techniques, then you learn how to make your AI agent RAG, whatever you're using, multimodal in nature so that it can ingest any form of data that you're giving. How do you design, deploy, and monitor these agents? How do you implement observability? How do you create these sequential agents? How do you use MCPs? Advanced agents, how do you create an orchestrator type of agent? Like Orion has an orchestrator on top of it, which is controlling the code generation, code review, code testing, and all of those things one after the other. And then finally, can you combine all of your learnings over here and build applications from scratch. Okay, so that is going to be your goal. Next, now folks, I have one question for you all. How many of you believe this statement that AI is already replacing 80% of repetitive engineering workflows? I'm not talking about 80% engineers, I'm talking about repetitive engineering workflows, not the engineers, but the old way of working. How many of you believe in this sentence? Type in me in the chat. Most of you, right? Absolutely. Now, what is happening is that at AI first companies, like what used to take like a team of 5 engineers can now be done by 1 engineer. Like you have already seen, I have agents like Orion, I have RAG systems like Atlas and a bunch of these things. So now, instead of me being worrying about too many of these smaller tasks that have to be done, I can just spawn my agents to be running these things, and they are like literally very cheap to run. Like this change that you saw took me less than 10 rupees, the entire PRAs thing to actually run. Okay, so who is that 1 engineer who can actually do the task of, let's say, 4 or 5 engineers? Okay, and I'm talking about junior level engineers over here. Who is that 1 engineer? We call this new role that is evolving in this space of AI, especially as an AI native engineer. An AI native engineer, he isn't just someone, he can be anyone, like a DevOps engineer, software engineer, front end, back end, anyone. Okay, but he's not someone who is just coding. He can really create his own agents, he can orchestrate his agents and solve problems end to end. That is what an AI native engineer is about. Any of you sitting here who is an engineer can actually transition into an AI native engineer if you start learning how to leverage AI in your workflows. Okay, now let's say you are in, regardless of whichever years of experience you are, let's say you are in the age gap of experience bracket of 10 to 20 plus years of experience. What is it that you are supposed to do the AI first world? Okay, so it will be, you will be architecting and leading AI first teams. You have to design the engineering strategies, you have to system design, you have to do AI governance and all of that. If you're within the age group of or experience group, actually not age group, of experience group of 3 to 9 years of experience, you have to build very powerful AI workflows like the ones which I have shown you, ship agentic systems, ship RAG systems, and automate as many tasks with as high accuracy and as low latency as possible. And if you have just started your career within 1 to 3 years of experience, you will have to accelerate faster than your peers by becoming a GenAI native engineer, fluent in tools, fluent in automations, fluent in multiple different frameworks, and so on. Okay, now this is what the future of teams will kind of look like. Like your founders, your AI native engineers. Within every engineer, like you can have a bunch of different agents that can come up. And as these models keep on improving, it is still taking time. But as these models keep on improving, this scenario will become more and more true. Okay, now the best of AI engineers are not just someone who can code or like create agents of their own. Like for example, think, what if I built an Orion, which, what is the small change which I showed you, took about 100 seconds, very good, but it costed me $50 for that one single change. Do you think it will be very feasible? Yes or no? $50 for like, let's say 100-second change, it would does it even make sense? Especially in India, I don't think so, that number. I mean, if your agent is taking more money than having a human in that place, doesn't make sense. So you have to have an understanding of business. As of today, Orion takes less than 10 rupees to do that change. Just to do that. The change which I showed you took less than 10, 20 rupees for that change, did not took $50. Okay. So these numbers that you have to calculate, okay, these numbers that you have to calculate and so on, you can only do that when you have that financial and business understanding on what makes sense and what doesn't. So it is not just enough at this time to learn about AI. It is also very important that you have the business understanding as well along with your AI understanding. Okay. Now, future of AI is definitely an AI first world. I am sure a lot of you already have a bunch of these AI tools and applications already on your phone, and it is integrated in your day-to-day life. Like there are a lot of people who have just like literally leveraged AI and using it day to day. They have dived neck deep into it, and I really hope that one of you actually most of you become like them, because you have shown that kind of commitment that you can stick for so long and learn about things. Would you want to see like a couple of real life stories, like what are the real life stories on how AI has changed their life. You can actually have one of such similar stories. But type in just yes in the chat if you want to see how AI actually has changed people's life. Okay, let me show you something. So this is Girish. He is a principal software engineer, overall experience of 15 plus years. Earlier, he was even struggling to build like basic POCs, building like spending too much time on building like manual systems. He had the knowledge for things, but didn't really have the implementation skills to do that. After learning about AI and getting into the depth of the different sprints, which I spoke about, literally gained recognition for building AI systems. I am sure, regardless of which office you are working today, if there is that one person, if I talk about AI or Gen AI, one person would come in your mind in your company and be like, oh, this guy always knows something about AI. You can be that one person, and he literally got recognition for that. He, as he says in the video, I will show you that to you as well. Like he can now build automations in like 2 days instead of taking like 2 weeks. His bandwidth has reduced because there's a lot more free time and so on. So let's just short like a minute video clip.
I would definitely recommend it for many people, like in upcoming days. But what I would want to say is that it is not about the learning what we have like gone through in this journey, which would give you recognition. It is more of the application side of it. As long as you know anything, people may not be interested, but whenever they see the results and that impact you are creating, that is when people really start noticing. And that has already happened with me in my org. Whenever I'm trying to do some EI demos and all, people are not much interested. But whenever we see that I can do it, that one whole 2 weeks work in just 2 days and relax for next 10 days, playing table tennis and badminton in office, then they realize that there is something bigger. He knows than just coding. So that is where my productivity has increased like multifolds. So this is my next step. Probably I'll try to pass on this knowledge, information, and inspiration to my colleagues, friends. Probably get enrolled into this journey sooner. Yeah, that's about.
That is where you can go from like being at sprint 0 to like the end of sprint 7. Then there's like Sushil, he's a senior engineering manager at a very popular company called as HackerRank. Overall experience of about 15 years. Earlier, he had like limited understanding of AI concepts. He literally wanted to learn it in a structured step. After going through all of the 7 sprints, he gained hands-on understanding of AI, different frameworks for RAGs, for agents, for multimodal AI, and he was actually able to build his own AI solutions in his organization.
I think I'll start pretty much from the point where everyone wanted to learn AI in this world and doesn't know where to start. And I think this is the right place. I'm gonna tell this is the one of the right place, uh, to start come because kind of the confidence I have received, right? So this is just a short summary of it. Now coming to the more detailed feedback about the learning, I would say the past 2 weeks of the AI session has been incredibly insightful and well structured. I really appreciate like each topic went deeper into the fundamentals as well as the practical aspects of the AI, allowing us to understand uh, how things works and not just that, why it works. Plus, the hands-on example and the progressive flow was really amazing. I think the concepts on each part like RAG, LangChain, LangGraph, starting from the basic of creating the Python environment. I remember the day one, right? So everyone can collaborate across each period. So that was really amazing. Overall, I think the program was and it's been significantly uh, appreciative. Specifically, we are going back and trying to see how we're going to utilize back in the real world applications. Special thanks to you, all the mentors and the facilitators who has been doing this continuous effort. I know this is not one day, 2 day. There is a huge amount of uh, understanding. You guys might have gone into multiple calls, try to see how we can make it more efforting, more catching, more appreciating.
So that is the actual kind of change that you can experience by going through all of that. Like another example, like Pavel, he is senior consultant from AVEVA. Overall experience 25 years, one of the most senior folks we have had. Earlier, he had some basic understanding of AI, lacked like a core structure to go with things, limited exposure to actual real business use cases on how you can use AI and best practices. Now he has like gained solid, actual very solid knowledge, not just theoretical, but more over the practical side of things on how to use these frameworks, building applications, end-to-end full stack applications on his own. He's very deeply impressed by like the program steps that we have and the structure and the clarity of on deployment at organization level.
Knowledge skeleton, best practices and business use cases, learning us how to learn these topics. These are my key takeaways. Thank you very much for this entire team of Outskill, for both journalists and the engineering side, and all the people here are really astonished, amazed at how you did it, and it was just my jaw dropped. Yeah, I was just blown up by this. Thank you very much again.
People get blown up, folks, by the kind of experience that we provide. Like then we had Shabi, overall experience 21 years. Coming from a non-engineering background, like to a tech field, it is extremely difficult. Very limited coding experience, basic exposure to what is Gen AI, what is data science. And after completing all those 7 sprints, was able to gain like a very strong hands-on understanding on Gen AI solutions, was able to build full-scale AI solutions in under 14 days and boosted the productivity by over 30%.
It has been amazing journey. In fact, I come from a non-engineering background. It's, I mean, I've just coded, the first code that I've wrote is probably just a very simple code 5 years back. The more I started coding, it's just been 2 years that I've been in the data science field doing a bit of coding and stuff. And I mean, this entire 14 days has been kind of like a eye-opener sort of thing. I knew that AI could do a lot of things, but then, building an entire solution in 1 day, that was completely like crazy.
Yeah. And these are just like a few people who have actually leveraged AI, the power of AI, gone neck deep into it. And I like really hope that some of you also have similar stories with us. But folks, by taking this roadmap, I will show it to you again, the 7 sprints. Please take that roadmap and you can use this mastermind as a launch pad to go deeper on your own as well. But if you want to do faster than others, we are doing something incredible for you all, which we have spent like hundreds and hundreds of hours to perfect it. Yesterday, Om spoke about the AI Engineers Accelerator program. I'm here for the next like 10-15 minutes where I can give you details about what the program is, what is exactly covered in it, what are the experiences of people. You have already seen some of the testimonials for the program of what happened like across before and after the program. And do I have your permission for the next 15 minutes to talk about the program, give you in details that, hey, this is what we cover and so on. And after that, we'll do a Q&A session where you can ask whatever questions you have regarding the program or in general about today's session. But do you think it will be helpful if I share the details about the program? More importantly, what are the sprints and how do we cover it? Just type it helpful in the chat. Just a second. I will enable it. Even if like 50% people are okay, it barely takes like 10 to 15 minutes. After that, like I will spend some time for Q&A with you all, and then we can like break for lunch. Okay. Okay. I saw almost everyone being done. Cool. Awesome. So here is the complete structure of the program, sprint by sprint, and exact what tools are going to be covered. So there are multiple parts to this program. Part 1 is a live 14 days of AI training, like the one which we are doing right now, where you will have a mentor, and we keep batches limited to like a size of 100 and 150, so that you are allowed to, in this case, it's a very one-sided thing. In these live 100 hours, you are also allowed to unmute and ask questions as well. And we knowingly keep the batch size small enough, close to 100, so that you can actually ask questions, and it is not a chaos. So we'll have 14 days of live AI training, continuous sessions every day, 100 plus hours to learn and to build. Okay, so this is not going to be a one-sided thing where a mentor just comes in and keeps on teaching you something. It will be more like in let's say every sprint wise, you will be learning something for 1 or 2 days. In the third day, you will have the mentor and you will actually build a solution on your own. Like again, fourth day you learned something, fifth day you are building something of your own. Sixth and seventh day again you learned something, eighth day you are building something of your own. So that is what the 100 plus live hours will look for you across 14 days. Part 2 is a 48-hour build-a-thon where you build your own solution. Based on whatever you have learned across these 100 hours, we would have implemented already every concept that we have covered by the end of this 14 days. And then we do a 48-hour build-a-thon where you actually utilize everything from here to build solutions on your own. Then part 3 is an AI content library. What we realized is that AI is just expanding, the topics are expanding, the tools are expanding, the workflows are expanding. And to be very frank, we can't really cover everything possible in just the live format. So we came up with a very extensive recorded library with AI tools and workflow deep dives, which keeps on getting updated as like more and more better tools keep coming up. And you have access to this for the next 1 year. So you get access to this once after you complete the program. And it has a lot of tool deep dives, workflow deep dives. I will show you exactly what is there, but this is a recorded AI content library that we provide as a part of the package for the AI Genius Accelerator program. Part number 4, as I mentioned, that it is not just enough to have the knowledge of AI, but feasibility check. Does it even make sense? Does it have a business use case and so on? You will need that entire business understanding for that. So for that, we have included the Modern Business Fellowship content, the entire 6 months of content by Kairos Business School as a part of the AI Engineers Accelerator program. Part number 5 is Monetization Mastery 101, one of our highest selling courses out there. In this case, we are not only are interested in teaching you how to build products, teaching you how to be a very good at implementation and stuff like that, but we also want you to be able to monetize and make money out of it. So that is covered in part 5. Part 6 is you get access to our exclusive Outskill AI community and AI updates for the next 1 year. For the next entirety of 1 year from the starting of the program, we ensure that every update, everything that is coming up gets reached to you. These are the next set of dates for the program. So you have 2 options, as you can see, and the timings of the program. So we do Monday to Friday as well as on Saturday and Sunday. Recordings are given to you all after every session. Okay, if you, let's say, enroll in one of the options, one of the first dates, and you feel before starting the program that, hey, I want to defer to the second one, that option is also available for one time. So let's say you enroll for option 1, after a few days you felt like, hey, option 1 might not be suitable for me, can you move me to option 2? We have a no questions policy. You can directly move in to option number 2 over there based on your requirements. Now, here are the outcomes that you will be achieving in the 14 days of AI training. Sprint number 1 is going to be building a ChatGPT application. Okay, the entire ChatGPT. How do you build a ChatGPT of your own? We will be using OpenAI APIs, Grok, Ollama, LM Studio, and OpenRouter. It will be a multi-conversation, multi-model or conversational app where you could not only use the OpenAI API, OpenAI models, but any API, 500 plus models. How can you build a chat application on top of that? You learn advanced prompt engineering and context engineering techniques. It includes XML prompting, JSON prompting, and a bunch of other things. You learn about Hugging Face, you learn about Gradio and how to create front ends for your applications in Python directly, and how do you run an experiment with local AI models and not just rely on sending everything to the cloud. Sprint number 2 is automation with AI, where we teach you about n8n, Hagen, Bolt, or Lovable. In this case, we are actually helping you build and automate job workflows using n8n. The workflow which you saw for creating applying to jobs automatically will also be covered in this sprint and will be taught by Divij, who is the actual creator of this workflow, and we go into a lot of depth into the kind of things that you can do. But that workflow which you saw was a kind of backend. So we also teach you how to connect that to a front end and convert it into a full stack application, where in the backend you have an n8n automation and you have front end as well, which people can come and interact with. Sprint number 3 is customizing AI and RAG, where we cover Llama Index, Gradio, and LanceDB. Llama Index is a Python framework for creating RAG applications. LanceDB is a Python framework used for vector databases. Okay, so in this case, we will be teaching you how to build your own atlas, what are the different types of RAG applications, what are the fundamentals, and we go very advanced into it, and we have you build your own atlas. Okay. Sprint number 4 is open source AI and security. We talk about Langfuse, diffusers, TikToken, Gemini, Anthropic, and a bunch of these things. We focus a lot on Ollama as well as Hugging Face and as well. So a lot of enterprise use cases revolve around hosting your own models and loading your own models. All of this can be achieved using open source AI and hosting it on your own. And we also talk a lot in depth on what are the vulnerabilities with these AI software applications and so on, and how to tackle with them, how to optimize model performance, how to deploy this to production, and so on. Sprint number 5 is about AI agents. In this case, we focus on Cursor, Claude, LangChain, Langsmith, Smithry, and or Composio. So we talk about creating advanced sequential agents using LangChain. We also talk about observability and how do you build your MCPs or integrate your MCPs in your workflows. How do you launch observability on top of it? How are you monitoring your agents? What if one agent fails? How do you do the fallback, and so on and so forth? All of that is covered in sprint number 5. And sprint number 6, advanced AI agents, where we cover LangChain, LangGraph, Langsmith, and Composio. The ending of the sprint is taught by me itself. It's a very intense, like 4-5 hour workshop, which we do on a weekend. In that, I teach you how to build your own AI coding agent like Orion, but it is an even more advanced version of the open source version of Orion that you see. How do you build multi-agent systems? How do you create an orchestrator system? How do you manage memory, tool calling, and a bunch of these things? What are some engineering challenges? And a very applied form of workshop is where we talk about LangGraph in a lot of depth, folks. And finally, to ensure that all of you actually implement everything, you're continuously implementing everything across all the sprints, we do a hackathon at the end of the 6th sprint. As I was talking about the 48-hour build-a-thon, where you can utilize whatever you have learned and present it to multiple different people online. And you can actually demonstrate whatever you have learned. You work in teams. It is not an individual hackathon. We help you get into teams, and there is a lot of crazy stuff which comes out of this hackathon. So here are the outcomes that you get. Sprint 1, advanced prompting and LLM model mastery. Sprint 2, workflow automation and API integrations. Sprint 3, building advanced RAG systems. Sprint 4, multimodal AI capabilities in full stack apps. Sprint 5, building autonomous AI agents. Sprint 6, build intelligent multi-agent AI systems. And Sprint 7, build and launch a production grade Gen AI product. And we have partnered with the Kairos Business School to get their fellowship program to you all, worth about $2,900 US. This is what exactly is covered in the recorded content. First principles thinking, design thinking, product sense, finance, operations, UI, UX, everything that you will literally need to build and scale a product is covered in this content. Okay. Now, as an AI native engineer, you also need to have like a deep understanding of not tools, workflows, and multiple different frameworks. So here are some frameworks that you should like explore, like LangChain, LangGraph, Llama Index, Fast API, Ollama, LangSurf, Model, Replicate, Composio, Smithry, multi-agent like LangGraph, Crew AI, Autogen. Front end, you can explore Gradio, Streamlit. Vector storage you can include like LanceDB, Pinecone, ChromaDB, and a bunch of these things are there that you should be looking for. So here are some of the AI tools and workflow deep dives. Okay, so these are tool deep dive tutorials. These are not tools, but tool deep dive tutorials and AI workflow deep dives that we give it as a recorded content, like deep dive of ChatGPT, deep dive of NotebookLM, how to use Google AI Studio, Zapier, GitHub Copilot, GenSpark, all of that, and workflow deep dives like how to use AI for testing and QA, how to use AI for microservices, API development, and many more. So all of this is also provided as a recorded part of the content. And what you will be learning in the content library, these are pre-recorded courses given to you after the 14-day program. We have 12 months of access to this particular curriculum, and whatever updates come the next 1 year, it is all available with you. We also are giving away the monetization mastery program so that you can actually utilize these skills to make money out of it. This is what is included in the monetization mastery: how to generate organic sales, how to leverage LinkedIn for sales, cold emailing, management consulting. We even teach you how to create ads for your products using Meta Ads and Google Ads. And to help you all stay updated with everything in the AI space for the next 1 year, which is about 54 plus weeks, you will get live weekly updates in the next 1 year. So every week we will have one call, and wherein we will be talking about the latest AI news, AI tools, AI updates, anything that has come up, and you should be aware of it for the next 1 year, folks. And we told you that we are going to do something very, very special today. And here is the big surprise. What the team and I figured out that, hey, even after the 14 days up, every sprint is like you are building a product of its own. At the end of the 14th day, you will have people who have built some really good applications in the hackathons and so on. But we were like, what else can we do to help these people, to enable them, to empower them, to gain them more confidence so that they can create projects across anything? That is when we came up and we created an extensive projects library which has intermediate to advanced level projects on agents, RAGs, and so on, which are ready to use. You can utilize these projects, you can put it in your resume, you can build on top of these, you can make changes to these, you can use this as a company, whatever is feasible for you. And there's an exhaustive list that is, the code for this is already given to you as a part. This is extra from what you will be doing in the 14 days. In the 14 days, you're already going to build multiple projects. Even after those 14 days, we give you a projects library, not just the topics, but the actual code bases for all of these. I'm going to show you 5 of these projects in what basically they look like. The first one, okay, and you can actually use this like to build step by step in your portfolio. The first one is a deep research agent, something like how does Perplexity perform deep research? How does ChatGPT deep research perform? It can do autonomous research. It can evaluate the web. It can evaluate your personal sources that you have given. It can evaluate, retrieve facts, synthesize long multi-step answers and condense them into smaller answers, generate reports, comparison summaries, whatever you want. The learning outcome of being able to implement something like this is going to be building multi-agent orchestration. How do you implement search plus RAG pipeline, structured reasoning, and how do you master building a Perplexity deep research like system, which can basically go through the internet and figure out topics for you know. Okay. Second project is a browser automation agent. If you have heard of automated browsers like Comet or Atlas, what they can do, you can just prompt it and it can perform tasks in your browser. So how do you build an agent which can interact with your browser in real sense? It understands about DOM, it understands about the JSON structures that are behind it, and it can read the visual elements. It can execute commands. Like let's say, for example, a lot of you use Google to sign in. What if you have a browser agent which can just sign into Google directly for you and you don't have to manually do all of that? Learning outcome, you learn how to automate your browsers, build your own Comet, build your own Atlas. You have to use Stagehand as an agentic tool. Stagehand is available in JavaScript as well as in Python. And how do you master building agents that can interact with real applications in the web? Third is a customer support agent, one of the most requested projects that we have over here. So if you have heard of Zendesk, if you have heard of Forethought, it is a similar version to them. How do you create an AI support agent? Okay, and it's not just like have a prompt around it. There are multiple things which you have to keep in mind. How do you read knowledge bases, past tickets, present tickets? How do you look for docs that are there in the company and a bunch of respond to users with actual and contextual answers? How do you classify it if it is just an issue or if it's just a feedback and so on? Learning outcome is going to be building production grade RAG applications, multi-turn memory conversation, and a bunch of other things. So if you're working in an enterprise, there's an enterprise ready customer support automation that you will get access to. Project number 4 is an AI ops incident response agent. For example, if you have used Datadog, Watchdog, or New Relic, or anything of that sort, it can monitor logs in real time. It can track metrics, traces, any anomalies that are there in your system. It will detect all of that, and it will perform root cause analysis and find in signals across multiple different channels that you have given it access to and propose fixes. And the learning outcome is that you become an expert in observability ingestion, anomaly detection, any RCA workflows, and so on. And how do you master building self-healing infrastructure for agents in production systems? Project number 5 is cyber security threat detection agent, something like CrowdStrike Falcon or Microsoft Sentinel. It is actually an autonomous SOC analyst that can detect suspicious logins, privilege escalations like API misuse, malware traces, anything of that sort. If anyone is trying to hack into your system, this agent can actually detect all of that. You will learn SIEM style ingestion, threat modeling, all of that, and master how to build security grade agents capable of preventing and responding to cyber threats. Okay, these are just 5 projects. Along with this, we give you an entire projects library that literally companies pay lakhs to solve for. The total value of just this projects library, folks, is 1.5 lakh rupees. But that's not it. And we have more surprises, which is a bunch of these things. Okay. Yeah. So as I told you that we would be doing something mind-blowing today, and we would make you an offer that you will not be able to refuse. Okay, so this is what you have. You will, in their AI Engineers Accelerator program, you have 100 plus hours of live AI training. You have 48 hour build-a-thon. You have your AI projects library worth 1.5 lakh rupees and okay, 54 plus live AI updates and so on. But along with that, you get a bunch of these AI tools. Now, what are these tools that are there? First of all, if you want to create your own voice agents, you can do that with Vapi AI. We give you $500 worth of credits worth 45,000 rupees, which is billed annually. We give you 1 year access to a very amazing tool, which is a Chrome extension called as Emily, which you can use to summarize any YouTube video, talk to any YouTube video, literally like talking to it. You can talk to and summarize any article over there just by clicking a button of extension over there. It costs about 19,000 rupees. We give you 1 year access for it. We give you 1 year access to SuperGrow. If you have ever felt that, hey, I want to build a solid brand on LinkedIn, but I don't know what to post, SuperGrow is the way to go. It is an autonomous post creation. You can just post it via SuperGrow itself. You can just give it what topic you want to create content about, or you can just fetch what are the topics people are creating content about, which is getting viral. It will rephrase all of that for you, make it personalized based on what your thoughts are, and you can post it to LinkedIn directly. That costs about 29,000 rupees, 1 year of access to it. We give you 1 year access to Numerous AI, which is worth 10,000 rupees, and it is actually the ChatGPT for Excel sheets. We also give you 6 months of access to Fireflies AI worth 9,200 rupees. It can attend meetings with you or on your behalf and generate very good notes. People across the world have been using Fireflies AI. We give you 1 year access to Whisperflow as well, so that you stop typing and you can just start speaking. Okay, that is cost about 15,000 rupees. So Whisperflow is a speech to text application, a highly accurate application, which you can just basically, instead of having to type whatever you are doing, you can just keep on dictating it to your MacBook or device that you're using, and it will convert it, and it is way more accurate than any other solution that exists. We give you 1 year access to Chronicle, which is an AI based presentation creation tool worth 15,000 rupees. Here are all of the tools that you get access to as a bonus, along with the AI Engineers Accelerator program. 1 year access to Emily AI worth 19,000 rupees. 1 year access to SuperGrow for your LinkedIn, 29,000 rupees. 1 year access to Numerous AI, which is ChatGPT for Excel sheets, 10,000 rupees. 6 months access to Fireflies AI, your own personal assistant in your meetings, 9,200 rupees. $500 worth of Vapi AI credits to create your own voice agents. 1 year access to Chronicle for creating AI based presentations, 15,000 rupees. 1 year access to Whisperflow to convert anything that you're saying into text in a lot of higher accuracy. You can use it on your phone, MacBook, whatever you're using. 15,000 rupees. The total value of just these tools is 1.5 lakh rupees, folks. And here is the entire engineering accelerator program. 100 plus hours of live AI training over 14 days. 48-hour build-a-thon at the end of the day. AI projects library worth 1.5 lakh rupees. Kairos Business Fellowship curriculum for the 6 months curriculum, recorded curriculum. 54 plus live AI updates for the next 1 year. AI content library, and monetization mastery 101. All of this for a combined value of 10.7 lakh rupees, but only as a mastermind only offer. We are offering it at 94,999 rupees or about $1,200 depending on wherever you are joining from. Okay. You can either make the full payment via the link which has been dropped in the chat section, or you can also pay a token amount or advance amount of about 15,000 rupees or $250 depending on wherever you are joining from. This is a special mastermind only price. It is valid only for the next 20 minutes. We'll actually start a timer post which we will post which the link expires actually. Yeah. Cool. So the total value of the entire program, everything live, everything recorded, all the projects, all the tools, all of them together, this is the best price that we can give, is about 94,999 rupees or about $1,200. This price is only valid for the next 20 minutes. On our website, this sells at a much higher price. Okay, you can make a booking right now to block your seat. You can either pay like a 15,000 rupees advance or a $249 advance, depending on your method of payment. And this price is valid only for the next 20 minutes until the timer runs out. Again, these are the dates for the next upcoming 2 sessions, session timings, and the recordings are going to be provided to you all after every session. Even if you enroll for the option number 1, you want to defer and go to option 2, that is a one-time thing that we offer, no questions asked policy we have over there. Okay, and who will be teaching you? I will be there first of all. Then we have Dilip, who is the head of AI initiatives at Outskill. We have Paras, who is an AI engineer himself. We have Divij, data and applied scientist at Microsoft. We have Siddharth, AI agent consultant and educator. We have Akhil, who is again an AI educator and software developer and tech enthusiast. And I will show you some of what the Outskill learners actually feel like while you make the payments.
So starting with Mastermind, right? It was a great start, and expectations were there that I will get in a lot of understanding about this new field and try to, make a career out of it. And it has given a breadth of knowledge, which I feel that now need to go in depth to, really master it. It was a great start, and looking forward for other interactions with the group.
Okay.
If I had to say about the course, before this course, I spent lot of money in ChatGPT subscriptions. I used to do that in the office. If I do a small program with the ChatGPT, also my colleagues would say that, oh, you're using AI, but I didn't know that the true potential of the AI.
Thanks a lot for letting me in. I think initially with Himadri, we just took our time to get used to this LMS systems and all, and I had calls from the development teams on, hey, what's not working for you, the tool screen wasn't working. So they took that feedback and have their direct contact numbers. I think this part was amazing. Although you guys are an AI company, but to be in touch with people, I think that's something that you have got your feet on the ground for. So kudos for that. Yep.
We literally personally ensure that everyone gets access to whatever they have been promised for. That is what he was talking about.
It was really amazing session. I never expected we can do the code in minutes. Yeah, like means after this session, but we never coded actually. 15 years back, we had some coding experience, but after this, we are coding in minutes. So that's amazing improvements. So thank.
I should thank all your team, all entire Outskill team, right from your initial opening workshops to running all these through. Fantastic arrangement, everything. I loved every bit of it. Enjoyed all the sessions, and the mentors were fantastic. I challenged myself. I'm 55, so I challenged myself. Can I get back into learning path, and can I sprint like you guys when you guys do it? So I felt really happy. It kind of a reassurance for me that I'm still young.
55 years old. That is also like we have people in their 20s, we have people in the 30s, we have people even in like 55 years old who are joining in and like having a great experience with us. Wow.
Was one of the most amazing sessions I have done in quite a long time, ever since I did my BTech a long time back. So the main thing was I came with some expectations. I had been exposed to MCP servers, I had been working on those, and so I had some expectations, some high expectations. And you guys actually beat that expectation. I got to learn quite a lot of different things. My neurons were like buzzing here and there all this duration. I have so many ideas that are like boiling right now that I can work on, which was really interesting.
So folks, that is the kind of impact that we have on people with the AI Engineers Accelerator program. And again, as I said, if these days don't work for you, or if you have any issues with that, you can still join now and you can leverage this special price that we have as of now, and we can allow you to defer to the next one as required. The remaining payment must be done by this date, and any access to the bonus tools will be provided within 14 hours of completing the full payment. With regards to the projects, we give you access to it only after you have completed the accelerator program. Otherwise, people just feel that, okay, I've got access to the projects, why do I need the program anymore? Okay, so that is there. And yeah, here is the list of all of the tools that you will be getting. 1 year access to Emily AI, which is a Chrome extension which you can use to summarize any blog, any YouTube video, and anything of that sort. 1 year access to SuperGrow for your LinkedIn. 1 year access to Numerous AI, which is for ChatGPT for Excel. 6 months access to Firefly. $500 credits of API. 1 year access to Chronicle for presentations. 1 year access to Whisperflow for speech to text. Total worth is 1.5 lakhs in this tools itself. Okay, and folks, it is no refunds are possible. Please only enroll if you are highly committed. I will already tell you like who should not enroll. Like for example, if you are a student, please don't enroll in this. What I feel is very important that you have enough time. If you are a student, you have, let's say if you're in an engineering or in school especially, please don't enroll for this program, because you have enough time to do these things for yourself. This program is specifically meant for people who are already working in corporate and want to upskill themselves in a shorter span of time, in a very targeted, in a very directed manner. Okay, so if you're a student, please do not enroll for it. And yeah, once you complete the payment, you will be reached out by a team in the next 48 hours. You will have a one-on-one onboarding call. We do a one-on-one onboarding call with all of our learners so that we can get you onboarded on the learning management system, get you access to all the tools, content libraries, and so on and so forth. Okay, so here is the entire AI Engineers Accelerator program. 100+ hours of live AI training like the session you are having today, but you are allowed to also unmute, ask questions, have long discussions at the end, and you are also given assignments and projects to build upon continuously for those 14 days worth 1 lakh rupees. Kairos Business Fellowship worth 2.5 lakh rupees. AI Content Library, which is a recorded library worth 50,000 rupees. AI Monetization Mastery, which is worth 50,000 rupees. 54+ live sessions over the next 1 year. Again, 100+ hours of content live worth 1 lakh rupees. Bonus AI tools worth 1.5 lakh rupees, and bonus AI projects library worth 1.5 lakh rupees. The total value of this program is 10.7 lakhs or 12.5 thousand US dollars. And just for this mastermind, for the, I think 10 minutes are still left, we are giving it at a value of 95,000 rupees or $1,200. And this is a quick summary of whatever we have covered. And not only that, folks, we are also partnered with Google in their Accelerator Startup program. So we also host a lot of demo days and all with them. So this is like one of our events which we did at the Google office. And yeah, just look at it.
I believe that AI is a double-sided blade. At the same time has huge potential to be beneficial to humanity. It also holds a lot of risks. For me, the question is, how do we equip ourselves not to be outskilled, but to really outskill? So, yeah.
There is a paradox. If we will know the brain more, the brain will become more complex. And right now we are looking into rehabilitation and improvement and management for psychiatric disorders.
for today is, how are you leveraging AI to solve this?
The future of expertise or content is no more in a format that it is today, that you will sit out there, write a blog article, then people will see it come to you. Most of these experts will be employed directly by Google, directly by OpenAI, directly by Microsoft, who are experts at that topic.
Stay ahead!
Especially if you are trying to go for the deep elevate of Fortune 500 companies. So maybe that's just one caveat to keep in mind. Right now we are safe and the copyright is still with a human, but you never know in the future.
I come from a family of lawyers and chartered accountants. I thought that there is really something that we can do, accounting side, the finance side and the legal side with AI, with so many cases pending in our courts in India.
When I attended that session from Vaibhav, the masterclass, so I could see that how people harness the power of AI and GenAI. Then I thought that, okay, I have to focus on this.
Excellent. I got to make a lot of new friends, got to learn a lot of things from all the people around. People come with 20, 30 years of experience. Services and products are going to be delivered in the future is going to change, and it is going to be with an AI.
And that was it. I'm open to questions now. Anything that is around the program, from today's session, anything of the sort.
Got it. I think let's open. Yeah, let me turn the chat on. Folks, the chat is on to host and co-host. We'll be able to read out your questions from the chat that you post, and we'll pick out. And also one final update. Yeah, we'll take the questions for next 15 minutes, and then we'll drop off for a lunch break, and then we'll come back for the next session. Okay, perfect. Okay.
Yeah, I will just be back in 1 minute.
Oh, sure. I think you can take a break. Are we getting certificate for this mastermind? You will get a certificate if you attend till the end of it, as I said, 70% of the time. What time is the next session? The next session is scheduled to be starting at 3:15 p.m. Student shouldn't join, but what about experienced but no coders? Even if you are someone who's from a non-technical field but want to transition to a tech field, or this sounds relevant, you can opt for it, because what happens is, before you go towards the accelerator, we give you a base camp where you refresh your knowledge of Python, where you refresh and understand how to write code with AI, right? So if you are someone who's a no coder or who's a non-technical person but interested in learning tech, you can consider it as well. Got it. There's someone asking, I attended previous 2-day, now there's a 2-day when I work with not. For software engineers, Ahmed, this one is the more suited one. This is specifically designed for people who are in technical fields. Can you show the accelerator program summary slide? Yeah, in a minute we'll show you. Ishan, can you send us the sprint plan so that we can discuss? Yeah, we'll run you through it one more time. Let's do that. Can we only take 14-day program? That is not possible at this time. Actually, you can, but the pricing of that is on our website, and it's equivalent to the full pricing of the package that you see. You'll be given the recordings of the accelerator sessions, not the mastermind session. Okay. Fawzia, wait for some time. You will get a confirmation regardless. Even if you don't get it, our team will reach out to you and confirm. Once you have closed the payment, which I think you have done. Yeah. Is there an option to do this program on weekends for longer time instead of 14 days? No, Shilpa, unfortunately, that is not how this is scheduled. Even if you run it just on weekends, there are updates almost coming in every week. And the reason we do it live is that you are able to run through the whole basics, right? So if we do it in just the weekends, you'll end up spending much more time than we expect to. And yeah, that is why right now this is the only option, and that is how we have been running for last about good 6 to 8 months for that. Will you give all the code of the project? Yes. The project library that you guys saw specifically for that, we'll help you build them. So what you'll get is for each project, you'll get a do it along sort of resources, which you can look at sort of the resources and do it and build. When we say project library, these are projects that you'll be able to follow the content that we give you and build yourself, right? And that's basically what we mean. What level of Python do I need to know before joining? Also, could you recommend a YouTube course for Python? I'm a software engineer, but I don't work with Python. Ahmed, we also do Python Basecamp just before the accelerator starts. A basic level of Python understanding is enough. If you are looking for specific YouTube courses, I think any YouTube course with a basic Python would be good enough.
There's one with Tech with Tim, which you can go for. But again, if you want to, you can. We have had people with who haven't coded for the last 10 years and still did very well in the program. Because the Basecamp that we have teaches you from the very, very basics of Python, what can be the most basic syntax in Python. We begin from there in the Basecamp. And you're given everything relevant that you will need for the next 14 days. So you don't have to worry about that.
Got it. Will we get GST bill? Amol, the thing is, we are partnered with National Skill Development Cell. And so we don't collect GST. Whatever price that you're paying is absolute. There's no GST that we have charged on top of it, but you do get a certificate of that so that you can claim the credit for that. I'm working professionally and I'm deeply interested in joining the course, but I have challenges with timing. My weekdays and most weekend too are occupied because of project commitments. So Fez, if your next 2 months are occupied because of your timings and project commitment, either you can choose for a January cohort, or you can also possibly sign up for a January cohort and we can help you defer in case if your commitment is not fulfilling at that point of time as well. But if you're not free on weekends and weekdays both, I don't think you have time to begin with, but you'll have to make time to begin with. It's chicken and egg problem. You saw the testimonials. We have people from about 20 years of experience who have made time just to do this, and now they are able to gain back their time. Ishan, one question for you. I think this is some 2-3 people have asked, so I'll just.
Yeah.
What is the difference between generalist and an engineering course?
Okay. So folks, we have 2 different tracks. One is the engineering one, which I talked about in detail. This is for people who want to enter into this and build things using code and using automations as well. The generalist course is more for people who just want to learn about the different tools and how to use different tools to build such things. Okay. So if you are an engineer, first of all, if you are a tech professional, if you are even it's fine if you have ever coded in your life. If you have not coded in the last 10 years, 5 years, that is completely okay. As you saw, we have had people with 55 years of age coming to our sessions, and it went very well. So that is there. But if you are interested into building things from scratch, learning it via code, you can go for the engineer specific program. If you just want to learn the different tools and things around that, you can go for the generalist program. But anyone who has had a tech background always ends up in our engineering program.
Got it. Okay. Understood. Okay. And yes, folks, there is EMI plans available but for that also you'll have to block your seat at 15K right now. So for the rest payment of 80,000, our team will be able to help you with EMI options which are available. Ishan, there's a question. Why did we pick Discord for hosting and giving accessibility from mobile, self-hosting and privacy there?
You can do it on Slack as well if you are concerned about that. But anything that was done was already open sourced. The Discord bot only has access to the URL of the GitHub repo as well as the PR URL. So everything which is confidential is running on the OpenAI servers, which Discord does not have access to anyways. So it doesn't really matter that much.
Got it. Okay. What should be the laptop specifications in case to buy a new one, or considering if I need to run models and AI systems? Any recommended thing that you would say?
Mostly I have seen people now just use MacBooks. The internal GPUs are good enough, and most models now support running it on MPS, which is the MacBook Silicon GPUs as well. So you can just go with a MacBook and you can use a Google Colab or something like that. I have about 4 laptops as of now. 2 of them are Windows. One I run Linux on as well. One has a gaming GPU, but Windows just gets slow after a point of time, so it gets and the GPUs in these laptops are pretty small, so you literally can't run any large models on that as well. The two other MacBooks which I use, one is an M1 and one is an M4. Both of them are like very good. Like one is a 16 GB and one is a 32 GB variant. So you can go with whatever you wish for. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Can we get the resources for the masterclass? You will, Pavan, stay till the end. We will share it. Another time slot, I have US based customers that have calls at the exact same time, anything in the morning. Aditya, at this point of time, the only time slot that is available for any of our courses is this. There's no other time slot that's available. In fact, what you can do is this, right? If you're not available on weekends, or specifically some people who are not, try to see if you're available at some other time on a weekday. So what happens is once the session is done, you get a recording of that. You are able to watch through that and send in your updates through community, and you are able to ask questions to mentors and get your doubts cleared. That is a second async way that you can do, but still try to attend the weekend sessions as well, which is the full 7 to 8 hours, because we do a few extra questions and answer sessions as well, so that you are able to capture the full learning. Okay. Recordings of this session not available. Sorry for that. In Accelerator, we'll give you this as a package as well, but not for everyone here. I'm committed until, can I book the March course? Ahmed, you should be able to. Yes, if you block the seat, our team will be able to help you with the batch selection. There's one final question, I think, before I take the next question, Ishan, which is there are specifically few people who are from who have taken the AI generalist course, or their course has not started. Folks, there's also an option where you can shift from AI generalist to AI engineer. And what you'll have to do for that, there's basically my team will share a form link here in the chat, so that what you can do is, if you have signed up for an AI generalist program and it has not started, and if you want to move, you can join in this one. Okay. Ishan, can you go back to the whole package slide? I think few people are asking, and we can take
Yes.
And someone is asking, any free courses that you would recommend, Ishan, for learning the kind of things that we are teaching, agents, or any resources that you follow yourself?
Folks, I also tried doing it via YouTube and all, but that didn't really work out. So the second thing which I always prefer doing is looking at the cookbooks of different libraries that we have. So for example, let's say OpenAI Agents SDK, if I do GitHub. Okay. Every such code has an examples folder or a cookbooks folder. I always go through them and see what projects are there. I go through the documentations, learn about it, how it has been used, and I try to build on top of that. So I have a very applied learning kind of style. So that works for me.
Got it. Okay. And also the second best thing is, we shared you a list of AI frameworks, right? A lot of them have their own education academies. Hugging Face has
Right.
one as well. So that is the most, specific resource to do that. Got it. Venu, you can drop your contact in the chat. Our team will reach out to you for your concern specifically. Team, can we drop in the form? There are people asking for shifting from AI generalists to AI engineers. And also, I'll just quickly tell you who are the people who have signed up for this program already. We have someone, I don't know, the email has been used, tax and regulatory. So that is one person. We have Muntak, we have Jove, we have Aditi, and then we have a few more people. 1 second. It's just taking some time to load, so I'm not able to take the names faster. Got it. We have Shailesh, we have Fauzi, we have Arfin, we have Sardana, we have Karthikeyan, we have Venu, we have Arsh, Vivek, Ashwin, Akhila. I think Arfin, your payment has failed. I think our team will reach out to you for the same. We have Falguni, we have Sridhar, Bhatnagar, Gaurav, Shravya, Vineet, Yeah, this is what I see. And there are a few more coming in, which are not captured yet, but yeah, these are few. Okay. Got it. Folks, you can still keep on dropping questions till we take. When are the batches starting? Ishan, can
So
you?
I will just put these are the dates.
This is the next two batches which are starting and which are there. You can.
Yeah. Can you check his name? Sunil Kandi.
On it, I just read the message. Let me check. The team is anyways updating them anyways.
Yeah, there's another one, Ahsan Salim.
Yeah. Folks, don't worry if your name is not taken. As it is coming, it takes a little bit of time for us to refresh. Are your resources available for free so that we can go through it once again? So Rakshit, what you will get in free resources is what you have learned in the mastermind. Whatever you learned yesterday, whatever you learned today will be given to you for free, not in a recorded format, but we'll share you PDFs of resources so that you can practice on your own and do that as well, right? Got it. 1 second. Please take my question. Okay. One is start. Okay. Ganeshan okay, this was Aparna. Can you drop your question once again? We might have probably missed it. Shilpa is saying me join journalist and in discussion with the person to shift. Yes, you can still fill the form so that we have a record and we are able to fast track your journey. Will there be certificate given for today's workshop? We will. Are we done for the day in terms of content? We'll be done in about next 10 minutes and then we'll start the next session at 3:15. What if my company, Ishan, what if my company doesn't allow the tools provided?
I mean, you can use this for your personal use cases as well. All of them are not really required for you.
Yeah, folks, the bonus tools that we have given are majorly for personal productivity use cases, and the tools that you will be building as part of the accelerator are something that you will be able to use internally in your ecosystem. In fact, we will teach you how do you work with internal systems to work with them. There are only 7 days between 20. Okay. No, so it goes from 28th November to the full thing, right? Why we mention it, that is because the sections that we do, the sprints that we do, it is a 14-day full thing sprint, and each sprint goes on from 2 to 3 days, right? So the first date, once again, we start the cohort at 28th November. 28th November is when the base camp starts, which you have Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Monday is when you start your full thing, which is your 1st December, your first session when it starts. And then it goes on from there for next 14 days. For example, yeah, so you have first, once again, let me confirm. 28th November, Friday is when the base camp starts. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3 days. Then December is your day 1 of the session. So what happens is from December, we go until 14 days, which is till 14th December, Sunday. That's when your accelerator ends. That is the first batch. The second available option, which we have mentioned in the chat or also in the session, is of January. Now, what exactly is that? The date specifically is 23rd January, again Friday, which is then Saturday and Sunday, where we are done with the base camp, which is understanding how to code with AI and learning Python. Then 26th January is when day 1 starts of the accelerator and goes on 14 days from there, which ends at about 26 Jan, it ends at about 8th February. And that's exactly what the 2 batches of these are. Rahul is spamming. Please give the PDF again. Rahul, we have not sent a PDF. Which one do you want? We will send you at the end of the session. Will you send the PDF for the last night today session as well? We will send you all combined. Let the mastermind be on. Not get distracted. Any questions you have for this session? Let's take that.
I think I should just show them the structure that we have once for some more clarity. Yeah.
There is one question before you show that, which is this. Are there any limitations for developing using Linux systems?
Like what kind of limitations are you talking about? Oh, Linux is going to be the best, to be honest, to actually run everything works on Linux. Everything comes for Linux first, then for Mac, then for Windows. So yeah, there's no. I personally use Linux the most, even at like my office as well. There's another one who has booked, Juan. I think one confirm his payment as well. Cool. I will show you, walk you through the exact day-wise thing what you will be covering. The dates will be on whatever you all select. So we start on like a Friday, and mostly weekdays classes are as the timings are mentioned in IST. So on Friday, we start Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We do the Python Basecamp. We have a kickoff call. All of this is live. Python Basecamp, we have it recorded because different people have different level of understanding in Python. Some people might want to start exactly from the scratch. Some people just want to see there's some intermediate and advanced concepts. So based on that, you can pick whatever you want. Monday is when your actual accelerator will begin, which is sprint number 1. Sprint 1 is a 3-day long sprint on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. In this, you will be building your own ChatGPT application. So day 1, Monday, you learn about prompt engineering, context engineering, and chat completions and OpenAI APIs and all. Day 2, Tuesday, you will be learning about Hugging Face, how to use OpenAI open source models, how to create front end using Gradio, how to use local models using Ollama and all. And finally, Wednesday is your build day. So every sprint, if you see, it was designed in a way that 1 or 2 days you are actually learning from the mentors. On the second or third day, you are building things on your own. So on sprint 1, Wednesday, you will be building your own ChatGPT app and Gradio. Our mentor will be there live on call, and we will give you instructions, give you guidelines on how you can build it, and you will build it on your own. Then sprint number 2 is a 2-day sprint, starts on Thursday, goes on till Friday. It is called as automation with AI. Thursday, you will be learning about how to create automations using n8n, the one which you saw about job application automation, along with Agent to create your own AI avatars. And Friday is when you build your own application using n8n as the backend and Lovable or Bolt as your front end. Sprint number 3 is a 2-day sprint, starts on Saturday, ends on a Sunday, which is about customizing AI with your own context and retrieval augmented generation or RAG systems. Saturday, first half, we teach you about basics of RAG, creating your own vector databases with LansDB, and creating your own RAG applications with Llama Index. Saturday, second half is when you learn about building Atlas, the application which I showed you, the entire YouTube thing, the entire basically being able to build a retriever system so powerful that it can basically retrieve across any form of document, be it music, audio, images, video, anything of that sort. Sunday, which is the 7th day of the engineering accelerator, you will be building a RAG application on your own. So we have a series of assignments for you. This is also live on call where we will have mentors and support people on the call with you. We will create different these smaller rooms in Zoom where 8 to 10 people will be together, and you will be given a bunch of 3 to 4 different assignments to complete, and you will have to discuss with yourselves and figure out the solutions for that. Then sprint number 4 is a 2-day sprint, starts on Monday, ends on Tuesday. It is on open source AI and security. How do you leverage Hugging Face to the best to use open source models? How do you optimize these models? There are a bunch of libraries and settings that you can do. All of that is covered in day 8. Day 9, we talk about cost optimization. So if you are building any of these AI applications, how do you optimize the cost in the minimum cost, minimum latency? How do you get the best product out there? And security in AI is also what we cover. Day 10 is sprint number 5 is a 2-day sprint again, starts on Wednesday, ends on Thursday. It is on starting with agents and MCPs. So we cover model context protocol, MCPs, AI-led coding using Cursor, Claude Code. Okay, then we have LangChain as well as LangSmith for observability. Sprint number 6 is also a 2-day sprint, starts on Friday, ends on Saturday. First off, in this we cover in depth of LangGraph, and I personally teach you how I built Orion. It is an AI coding agent. The entire flow, how do you orchestrate it, everything, how do you automate GitHub, PRs, generation of code, evaluation, and all of these things. Everything will be taught by me itself. And finally, then we start the hackathon after Orion, wherein you get about 2 days to build your solution, final end-to-end product, and you can basically demonstrate it to your peers. So this is the entire roadmap for the 7 sprints that we have.
Got it. Understood. Okay, folks, that was exactly what we teach and how do we do things in an accelerator, specifically, from day 1 to day end, as some of you are asking. Can you share the schedule link? We'll share it in just a while. As we take the lunch break, we'll share all the links once again so that you are able to refer. There's just last question from Amit. There are a few more, but there's one specific question. Want to get into data engineering and then pivot to ML engineering in a year's time. MacBooks are very costly. He has shared a specific Windows configuration if he's asking if it's good or not. Yeah.
this looks like more than good enough, to be honest. RTX 4090 is really good.
And how difficult, Ishan, if we build apps, since some of them were asking, right? Can we use Linux or other ones as well? How difficult when we build apps on, just for everybody's clarity, that we build on Mac can be utilized and deployed on Windows and on Linux and other systems?
Yeah, see, the beauty of Linux is that the commands, if you are very well versed with the commands, otherwise your life will become a hell. But if you actually are very well versed with all of that, so it becomes easier. Because Windows also has an option wherein you can use WSL to use Linux commands. MacBook, all Linux commands are supported. So if you are building anything on Linux, it becomes a lot easier. People are very used to having a proper front end and running applications. So a lot of these AI tools and all that are there, that become a little difficult to be used on Linux because a lot of them only either support MacBook or Windows or like just the two of them.
Got it. Interesting. Okay, perfect. Perfect. These are some of the
I think we should do one more thing, Om. There are some people who kept on asking that they need to get permissions from their company. Let's just drop a form for everyone who has such queries or who is very interested in enrolling but isn't able to pay right now for any reason. Just let's put a form and we will get in touch with you. Yogi is asking, yes, I will be. I am actually one of the creators for Accelerator, so definitely I am going to be one of the instructors for the Accelerator. Yogi, don't worry about it.
Yeah. So what we have done is we have anyway shared one form in the chat.
Yeah.
We'll share one more, and we've already noted down everybody who has concerns, and we'll folks, the team will reach out to you during the lunch break so that your queries are resolved. Unfortunately, the offer cannot be extended. Only when any company approval is required, we will be able to work with you on that. But apart from that, if it's an individual one, that's basically how it will go through. Okay. Yeah, the form is there. Need help with Accelerator is the one that you can click on, and our team will reach out to you. We have already made notes of about 6 to 8 people who had some concerns. But yeah, thank you for mentioning that, Ishan, as well. Let's check. Folks, tell me this. Or what you can also do is drop your numbers or numbers in the chat so that we can pick it up from there as well. Okay, perfect. Everybody, let's come back to where we are. How was the session, Ishan?
I will just drop my socials. As usual, I forgot to introduce myself.
Yeah.
But I will put it here. You can find you can find all of that here. Yeah, you can continue.
Yeah, folks, what I've done is I've also launched a poll. Meanwhile, you can also drop in the chat. How did you like the session? Did you actually gain understanding of what are agentic AI frameworks? Did you actually gain a complete understanding of how these things operate? Do drop it down. Let us know how was Ishan's session. And also, Ishan has shared his LinkedIn profiles, Instagram profiles, Twitter, and YouTube. As we said yesterday as well, our aim is also to give you your first 5 people that you should follow in the world of AI so that you become the 6th person to sort of, to upskill in the age of AI. So make sure you follow Ishan. Also drop him a note after the session so that you are able to do it. Shaurya, our team will reach out to you. Thank you for putting up that message. Is HP ZBook G1A is fine. It's more than the model, it's configurations. Have 8 GB at minimum or 16 GB and a good NVIDIA GPU or Intel i5 would do good, Shubhanshu. Okay, perfect. Folks, how was the session? We are going to start lunch break in about next 5 minutes and we'll extend the time for the next session. I said 3:15, we'll come back at 3:30 because I want to give you decent enough time to have lunch as well, because the next session is also going to be a little more intense, right? But before that, how was the session? Drop it in the chat. Where are the fire emojis in the chat? I was saying for 3 hours, I can't see now. Started coming. Ishan, it was wonderful session. Thank you so much for spending time on this day. I hope you enjoyed the crowd as well. I think after
I think this was one of the best crowds we have had home in terms of the pace of learning and everything. It was great. I loved spending these 3-4. These 5 hours with you all. It's sometimes we lose track of time. But yeah, thank you so much, folks. Like staying up for like 5 hours, regardless if you like joined or not joined the program. It's tremendous commitment to like just sit down for 5 hours. It's insane. And if you have that, I'm sure you can do a lot bigger things in life. So let that spirit go on.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Ishan. It was wonderful having you. And folks, please do rate on the poll so that we know how was the session and if you want to see Ishan back in these sessions. And what we are going to do, the next session is going to be a continuation of what Ishan taught you. And we are going to go deeper into orchestration of how agentic AI works and how do you set up these multi-agent systems. We'll be back at 3:30 p.m. IST. Okay, make sure you have heavy lunch, not so much that you guys sleep because it's going to be much more intense. And I'm going to share a few things about enterprise AI at the end. Any advice for these people, Ishan, for the next session?
Yeah, folks, you should definitely attend the next session because it just takes things, connects all the dots and takes things at a crazier next level. So even like it dives a lot deeper into multi-agent systems and orchestrations. It is a lovely part of it. And I'm sure all of you will have a great time. So please don't think that the mastermind has ended. You must attend the third session to get the full experience.
Yeah, and we'll end the day at 7 p.m. and there's going to be a lot of things happening. Any questions, just keep dropping in the chat. Our team is there to help you answer. Thank you so much, Ishan, for joining us today.
Yeah.
And everybody will be back at 3:30. Okay. See you guys.
Thank you.